Hello, I am the Ronan Bond, and welcome to a twitch.tv/Ronan Bond live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Bond. The hair is real. Oh, coming in immediate talk. Cheers incoming. Jermacian, 299 bits. Welcome to the Pawn Dome. Welcome to the Thunderdome. One opinion enters, no opinions leave. Oh, Jesus. I'm really tempting fate here. How do you run your business, Pawn? Well, you see those guys there? The ones on the bottom? Yeah, they control it. Whether or not I can post it. So, get ready, fellas. Hang on. Cause I know I can't live a life of opulence and ostentatious wealth. That's not he did a different chorus there, but just in case you were wondering what he was saying there. I know I can't live a life of opulence and ostentatious wealth, mainly because I'm a live streamer, and that's just not gonna happen. How's everybody doing? Brent, Gary, Jermacian, Major Exelbirth, Hologram 1, Mosaic, Task Force, and Hoyo's streaming, crack a beer, and strap in, because whether you know it or not, if you live in the old US of the A, you got yourself a new police force on the patrol. You didn't appoint them, nobody appointed them, but god damn it, they're gonna make sure that you're behaving appropriately on their internet, which they own, in case you were wondering. One ISP enters, consumers have no choice. Thunderdome! Evening Pawn, says Major Lord Exelbirth, the Thunder Pawn. I'm hyped for the stream today, so much so that I'll be catching the VOD tomorrow, says Oyo is streaming. You just passed out, you fainted. I was so excited. Thump. I'll get it tomorrow. I personally wouldn't want to live a life of opulence and ostentatious wealth, says Major Lord Exelbirth. Doesn't seem to work out so well for those lotto winners, generally, what I hear. A lot of suicides, and I want $1 million. I'll kill myself now. So it doesn't seem to, I just want the wealth, to be honest. I just want the wealth myself, because, whenever I've thought about, what would you do if you suddenly had a couple $100,000 or $1 million or $7 million? It's always been, step one, like, take care of all the people in my life who've just been shat upon, who ought to be, and then, like, I gotta find a way to turn that money into something good that's happening. I gotta turn that money into money redoubling so that we can do better things and better things and better things, in order to make, the world a better place. I don't know why Nike won't hire me. I just told them that the whole slave labor trade in Malaysia was probably not a good idea, and Ice Cream, hello, Pawn, you adorable lesbian princess. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jim. I only know it's Jim because I can't see the name. I could look over here and see it, but you picked exactly the color of the dark, the dark mode for Twitch in my chat. It's just not there. Good on you, by the way. Yeah, it just occurred to me, by the way, the football player who took the knee and got kicked out of the NFL and, that whole thing, and then now, like, Nike came in and now they're like, Nike's on his side. What occurs to me there is that the football player took the knee because of racial issues in America and the inequality and the racism that's inherent in the system, and then he is now backed by Nike, a corporation that literally, in the modern era, engages in slavery. Interesting choice. If I got a couple million, I'd invest for a good income and buy a nice house, says Hologram 1. Well, some of us are more thoughtful about ourselves than others. Don't worry, I'm a selfish prick too. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to your new internet police. Meet them. Here they are. We've got IP-Echelon and your friendly local Comcast, voted one of the worst companies in the country that has all of the market share for internet and television and all of those things. Apparently, now affiliated with NBC. I didn't, really? How long that's been going on? I just downloaded the logo today, and I'm like, really? NBC and Comcast? I mean, I know they're all grouped together, but alright, you gave your logo up, do you support slavery, Pawn? I mean, there's a black football player who took a knee for racism who's behind it. So apparently, yeah, I guess that's what we're doing now, right? That's just really weird. I mean, I know he's just, not to jump on his back or anything like that. It's, I know what's going on there. I know he had a career in the NFL and now that's gone, and then Nike coming on board and he's fighting for something, and the fact that Nike now has a deal with them, it's like, now Nike's jumping behind it. So it's like, it's forward progress toward one movement. The other thing, though, is that Nike has slaves. And you're a black football player taking a knee for racism and inequality that stems from, the whole slavery thing that we were doing a while ago. So it's a mixed message. It's kind of a mixed message. At least they're not busy in slavery based on race. That's true, Hologram One. It's just economic slavery, anybody who comes in. The way that works, in case you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, let me read Major Exelberth's cheer. Cheering 5, come on, Pawn. He played for the NFL, an organization where a bunch of white men are owners of predominantly black teams that physically assault each other for their, and allegedly our, entertainment. Yeah, it's hard to argue against that one. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about with Nike and the slave trade, well-documented, well-publicized, Bernie Sanders, before he ever ran for president, was standing on the floor of the U.S. Congress telling everybody about the operations in Malaysia, Vietnam, places like that, where Nike has hired third-party contractors in order to do their hiring, and the third-party contractors, what they'll do is they will specifically target people from neighboring nations, okay? So if Nike's doing business in Malaysia, then the neighboring nations, people will hear, oh, wow, American business is flooding into Malaysia. Let's go over there, get work, and send money home. So people will come into the country completely legally. They'll get their green cards and their visas, and, they're allowed to work. And then they show up at Nike's door and say, I want to work for you. And it's not Nike, it's a third-party contractor. And the third-party contractor goes, okay, in order to get you on the books here, just hand me your green card and your visa. No. We're just going to make some copies and get them back to you. Shred these. Shred them now. You're hired. And that's what happens. Because they're foreign migrants to the nation that they're operating in who have come looking for work. They get the job. The company takes the documents, says, we'll get them back to you in a couple of weeks. Okay, just fine. I'm happy to have the job. All right. And then they never get them back, which means now those individuals who migrated into Malaysia in order to get work with Nike can't go home because they can't prove where they come from because their visas are gone, their identification, and even if they wanted to find someone else to work for in Malaysia, they can't because Nike's agents, the third-party contractors, now have their green cards that would allow them to work for anyone else in the country. That's called slavery, isn't it? That's called slavery, huh? Nike? Oh, but the tennis shoes that these 12-year-old girls are sewing together, God, they're just so good I overlook it, That's more Joe Fresh and basically all of American business these days. But that's not what we're talking about here today. Already tangented. Hey, I got like 3 hours to fill. You gotta follow me. For several years now, Comcast bought NBC. Oh, really? I had no idea. Equal opportunity slavery, says Hologram One. It's not about race, creed, gender, or anything. It's about, did you migrate here? Oh, you work for us now, forever. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're focusing on these evil corporations, not those evil corporations. We'll come back to them on another day. So, what's going on, Mr. Ronan Pawn? Well, hang on, maybe I have to click in the window once, and then, there we go. I received an email from Xfinity, which is my internet provider, which is Comcast's name for their internet and television and basically everything, because Comcast was voted the worst people on the planet by the American public, and they went, you know what? Let's not change our policies. Let's just operate under a different title. Good idea? Yeah. Nike, what do you think? Oh, Jesus Christ. What are you whipping that person for? They work harder if you whip them. So, yeah, I got this email after, during the last live stream, I went off a bit about the idea of there are times and places where it seems rather appropriate and correct and right to pirate software. One of those cases is with, in the case of Adobe Premiere, which is what I use. I use CC 2015, where Adobe actually misused Dolby's copyright in order to put it out and scammed Dolby, and now They don't make 2015, which was one of their best products. Every year since, it's gotten worse and worse and worse and more unusable, and I've been paying them lots of money for them to keep screwing up my software. So that's a piece of software I now pirate. CC 2015, that Adobe can't complain about because they don't have a valid copyright on it because they stole somebody else's copyright in order to make it. So there are times and places where pirating software makes a fair bit of sense, and, someday we'll go deep down that rabbit hole because there's a lot to talk about there. But for today, during that live stream, I said, I've always had an interest of some kind in GTA 5. It looked like it was a fun game, the single player, not the multiplayer that they made exclusively so miserable that if you didn't pay them, there was no way you were going to have a realistic amount of entertainment off of that platform. But the single player seemed entertaining, but I just feel like I don't want to give money to that corporation. They're just, Rockstar? What they've done? I'd love to play the game, but I'm not going to give you my money. I said, if somebody wants to send me a torrent where I could safely acquire a copy of GTA 5, I would love to play the game without giving them my money. Not just because I'm poor, but mainly because they're assholes. The beatings will continue until morale improves, says Red Phoenix. I've never played Rockstar for anything in GTA 5 online. Well, good on you. NerdCube did just an excellent video for his something million subscribers videos, 2-3 hours long, where he and Matophobia just ran around GTA 5 online, trying to make money and progress in the game and have fun, and the whole point of it was that Dan just eventually whips out a credit card and just starts buying things and starts getting the things he wants. And everything he showed you in the game, you'd buy it and it'd be like, look, I got something cool. And then you'd immediately realize it's almost useless. It's like, it's not, he bought the big boat for God knows how much money. Oh, you got your own yacht you can park in the bay. Okay, turn on the defense, initiate a thing. No one comes, nothing happens, there's no fight. I'm not allowed to fight with the defenses on my yacht. Okay. Well, I'm going to buy the big office where I can run my own drug dealing business. And then you buy the office, and then you have to buy more things in order to get, the factories and warehouses where you're going to have the drug dealing thing go on. And just the amount of investment is fucking ridiculous that you would have to do monetarily in order to play the game down all of these different, paths that they've created, where the fun supposedly lie. But, yeah, I just mentioned that, GTA 5, if you got a torrent for me, hello Zorglob, thank you for the cheer. If you got a torrent for me for GTA 5, I'll grab it up. And one of you, who shall remain nameless since we've got, illegal, unappointed police activity on the internet around here, linked me a torrent. And I said, yeah, all right, whatever, I'll click it on, put it in the background. Maybe I'll come back to it. 66 goddamn gigs, too, to download that son of a bitch. So I get the torrent going. And then I go on about my business, because it's going to be, a minute or two before it downloads all of that, even over torrents. And while the torrent is active, I get this email from Comcast, from Xfinity. By the way, Xfinity alerts.comcast.net. You might know, just something about the branding there, mixed messages, taking a knee, and then getting in bed with Nike. So, fun bullshit for the Twitch mobile app. There is a big impossible to remove bar about personalized ads. I tapped to the stuff to get away with it, and network errors. Now I've just got a block of shite stuck there. Welcome to, the kind of capitalism we're about to talk about here. Dear Internet customer, writes Xfinity Alerts, Comcast has received notification by a copyright owner or its authorized agent reporting an alleged infringement of one or more copyrighted works made on or over Comcast's Xfinity Internet or Business Class Internet service, hereafter known as the service. The copyright owner has identified the Internet Protocol, or IP, address associated with your service account at the time as the source of the infringing works. The works identified by the copyright owner in its notification are listed below. Comcast reminds you that use of the service or any part of the service in any manner that constitutes an infringement of any copyrighted work is a violation of Comcast's acceptable use policy and may result in the suspension or termination of your account. If you have any questions regarding this service, you may direct them to Comcast in one of the following formats, and there's a phone, and there's a fax, and there's an address, and I may have called the phone number today just to get some facts straight by interviewing an employee. For more information regarding Comcast copyright infringement policy, procedures, and contact information, please read our blah 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 and our blah 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 blah. Both of those links, by the way, being something that I cannot access because Xfinity has fucked up my internet service and it's been fucked up for 2 months and I can't go to xfinity.com. So I can't really read your links there because you suck at doing your job, Comcast. Who's cheery? Ice Cream, Major Exobirth. Are you certain this isn't a phishing scam? I looked up IP-Echelon and it certainly seems like it's a scam. It certainly seems that way when you look them up, doesn't it? However, I did call Comcast today and spoke to them, and it was definitely not IP-Echelon, and it was very much Comcast, and it's not a scam. It's a scam, but it's an official scam, ladies and gentlemen. And then the copyrighted works are behind me. It's Grand Theft Auto 5 PC with DLC. Okay, whatever. Infringement type BitTorrent. Infringement method BitTorrent. So the type of infringement is BitTorrent. Apparently that's an infringement type. Just like assault, molestation, theft, BitTorrent. They're types of infringements is what they are. And the reporting party is IP-Echelon Compliance. You can reach them at p2p@copyright.ip-echelon.com. In fact, can I maybe somehow get it? Could I get that on screen here? If I made it bigger, if I made it smaller, how could I? And then I scroll down. Hey, there you go. I'll scroll over a little bit here. There you go. Echelon Compliant. Come on. With your in scrolling. There you go. Yeah, there you go. p2p@copyright.ip-echelon.com. Feel free to look them up, as I know you'll want to, but you don't have to because, hey, I already did. IP-Echelon, Research, Intelligence, and Education. What? What are you talking about? Counterfeit goods and online went away. IPE Business Intelligence provides audience measurements on unauthorized distribution channels. This company would certainly appear to be a company whose work is to monitor torrenting activity, to insert themselves into torrent streams, and then grab the IP address of anyone who is downloading or sharing, and then provide that IP address to Comcast. So here's what's going on here. I cannot confirm this, but I beg you to deny it. Rockstar, and or their authorized agents, have paid IP-Echelon.com. Rockstar has paid them to monitor torrent feeds for their property, and report anyone who downloads or shows up in the seeds, the tracker seeds, as, back to Comcast, at least to Comcast. I don't know. I've only got Comcast. Are they reporting to AT&T and Verizon as well? One would think that they would be. So they get paid by the copyright holder, which is who's verifying. Well, no one. It's alleged. We saw in the email. It's all alleged. It's all just... IP-Echelon gets paid by them, and then IP-Echelon has a open window, has a Batman red phone to Commissioner Gordon's desk in the Comcast department, where they can send in a, hey, this IP address is doing something that we say is wrong. Please send them an email, kind of a thing. And here's the thing, friends. You would think, based on this email, and shoot, can I Control-Shift-Tab? I can. You would think, based on this email, that this was, say, a notice of action under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. You know why you would think that? Well, because it says it's a notice of action under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in the subject of the email that Comcast, NBC, Comcast sent me, is claimed copyright infringement under the DMCA. Now, friends, lovers, true, I'm not a lawyer, but I am a YouTuber, which makes me a copyright lawyer, because you have to be. over the course of my 5 years on YouTube and Twitch, I have dealt with Universal Music Group, I have dealt with Sony Music Entertainment, I have dealt with a number of shyster organizations that all have content management licenses, content matching service, CMS accounts with YouTube, where all they have to do is upload a piece of media to the algorithm, and then the algorithm looks at all the videos that get uploaded and says, does this thing that you sent to us match something that's in the video? And it's very good in terms of being able to pick, audio and video out of the background of things where there's other things going on. It's very good at that. What it's not so good at is having any means of verifying that the people who are claiming that they own the copyright actually own the copyright. 90-some% of the claims that I have received over the years, and I'm going to go 95 to 98% of the claims I've received over the years have all been the people who were claiming the copyright didn't own them. They were in the, they were public, just open source in the public domain, or they just, it wasn't a piece of media that they owned. Like, I'd gotten permission from the actual media owner, and then this person had lumped the file in with a whole bunch of CD uploads that they've got. Or at some point, this is what happens on YouTube a lot, is at some point, someone in this CD house that's making a claim against you went around and collected just a bunch of open source public domain music, put it onto a disc, and sold it. They went around and collected music from the U.S. Army Band, really amazing, they do jazz and they do blues and they do, U.S. Army kind of stuff. But every performance that they do as the U.S. Army Band is immediately the public's property because, we employ them. So it's immediately in the public domain. So these companies will go around and they'll grab up public domain music, put it all on a disc. They didn't have to pay anything. They didn't have to license it. Ship it out. Make a little bit of money. Why not? They certainly can do that. But then what happens is they forget that they did that when they go to upload all their content to YouTube. And then you've got these CD houses claiming that they own things that they know they don't own. And because of the way that the YouTubes work, it is assumed that you are guilty and you have to prove your innocence. Which is always harder than proving someone's guilt, is to prove your innocence on an unfounded claim. Isn't it, though? But yeah, so I'm very familiar with the DMCA, but with the sections that apply to my work on YouTube, so I do preface this by saying I am not an attorney. But I'll tell you what, for what I know of the DMCA, the way it works is if someone puts something on a website, someone puts something out on the internet, if someone, copies and shares and moves files around on the internet that you claim to be yours, you issue a DMCA action. You send the service provider, which in this case can be a literal internet service provider, an ISP, or it can be a website. It can be YouTube, who provides a service on the internet, so they're an internet service provider. It can be just any given website that happens to have a picture that they stole from somebody's catalog and put it there. They're an internet service provider. You can contact them directly, and under federal law, there is a very specific set of things that have to happen now. If you issue a DMCA action against an ISP, being anything, could just be a website, they now have to take your property, that piece of media, down off of their website immediately. And then the other person on the other end who put that up has a certain time frame in which to appeal, in which to say, they're wrong, they don't hold the copyright, I own the copyright. Now, the intermediary agency, in this case Comcast, in all of the cases before this for me, YouTube, has no authority whatsoever in this process. They cannot act as judge, they cannot act as jury, they cannot do anything or make any decision on their own once a DMCA action starts. Because if they could, then they're making decisions outside of the law on their own. This is how DMCA works. You file a claim, the person you're filing it against files an appeal, and then, in a DMCA action, the person who made the claim has 14 days to file suit against you and to provide the internet service provider, who's standing in the middle of this whole operation, with proof that they have. And if they do not, then the internet service provider has to put your content back up and never entertains a claim against that media from that source ever again. That's how the DMCA works, as I am aware of it. As I, a small YouTuber who has defeated Universal Music Group, Universal being, Universal Pictures, Universal like billions of dollars, who has defeated them at the DMCA by simply forcing them to, well, sue me then. And they didn't, because I'm a small YouTuber, and now UMG can never make a claim against me against that piece of copyrighted content ever again. So I know something about how this system works. Comcast, herein, is claiming authority that they do not have, friends. Let's look at chat before I continue. I was president for an ISP for a year. The name of the Sony copyright agent is, no kidding, Saddam Osama. Really? Mosaic Task Force, okay. You weren't using a proxy or VPN while you pirated a game? No, I thought I lived in America. As long as he did not have a complete download, it is not illegal. And I didn't have a complete download. And that's we're getting ahead of ourselves here, because we're going to come on to the issue of law about whether or not it's illegal to move data from one place to another over the internet. Because I don't believe it is, no matter what form it is. It's once you put it to use. Especially in the form of BitTorrents, because we're talking about things that are in little bits and little chunks, and it's ones and zeros, and it's bouncing around. And we're also talking about, all right, we're going down this path at least a little bit right now. We're also talking about a concept. Here's the thing with law, people. Law is a web. It's all kind of connected. You can't have a rule over here that makes absolutely no sense in association with a rule that's over here. It all has to be relevant to an overall structure. The Magna Carta, this is the rule of law is an art that has been practiced for eons now, because it's very, very subtle and it's very tricky. And if you make one thing illegal, then it can be assumed that another thing is illegal, that you didn't mean to make illegal. If you make one thing legal, it can be assumed. And so writing the law is a very careful process where lawyers don't just, get a degree and then, hey, I'm a lawyer. You get a degree, and then you have to pass a test, and then you're a member of the bar, and if the bar ever decides that you're a shitty lawyer, they can take your right to be a lawyer away from you. It is a very tricky process that we don't let people just fuck with, usually. The idea that any copyrighted material being transmitted from one source to another is illegal means that every time that you do a Google search, you'd be committing a crime, and Google would be committing a crime, right? Their whole thing as a search engine is to copy the text content of a web page and then search it and all the things that they do in order to help you. And that sounds ridiculous, and you're right, it is ridiculous. But let's say somebody's got a poem on their, front page, and it gets caught as that first Google search like text thing. Well, now that person's poem that they're monetizing on their website, and they've got ads on the sides of it in order to make a little bit of revenue, you don't have to click there to get their poem. If you've got a website that shares the lyrical content of your song, and someone's trying to look up, what's the start of that song again? And they search the lyrics. I do this a million times. Search the lyrics, and then, oh, there it is, and it's right there on the Google page. Well, now you don't go to that page. Now that person doesn't monetize their content, and it's all silly things, isn't it? It sounds like, but that's not really anything. It's not really anything, but it's something to the people who want to make it something. And it is gray area in the law if you just decide that moving content from one place to another makes the person who received it, a criminal. That would be very hard. I could make a web page right now, embed a Christina Aguilera MP3 into the background of it. You come to my web page, it starts playing. First thing you do is go, oh God, why? Second thing is you're now a criminal. You had no, say-so over whether it was coming in. It's embedded into the background of it. It's just a web page you visited. I load up a web page, it's got a whole bunch of, Family Guy clips on it or something like that, and I don't have Fox's permission, then you come to it. Well, now you've downloaded all of those images. They're in your browser history. You're going to jail, right? No, you're not, because that's not how it fucking works, because the law is a delicate and subtle thing, and we don't let people tinker with it. Comcast and IP-Echelon. DMCA takedown, says Mosaic Task Force, means do not distribute this, as in on peer-to-peer torrent sites. DMCA is actually quite fitting for that, but you are correct. Only the copyright owner or an agent on their behalf can file DMCAs, and then the ISP has absolutely no authority to decide who's in the right. Now, here's the thing. I started out saying you might think that this is a DMCA thing because of the fact that Comcast has explicitly stated this is under the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which, by the way, in case you're curious, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is a 1998 United States copyright law that implements two 1996 treaties of the World Intellectual Property Organization. It criminalizes production and dissemination of technology, devices, or services intended to circumvent measures that control access to copyrighted works. It also criminalizes the act of circumventing an access control, whether or not there is an actual infringement of copyright itself. So forth and so on and stuff. Here's what you need to know about the DMCA. The DMCA was written in an era where there was a vice president was claiming to have invented the internet. It was written by politicians who had no fucking idea what they were getting into, what they were talking about, and it addresses copyright, one of the trickiest matters in law that most people think, maybe we just shouldn't have copyright. Because this is just fucking ridiculous. We have the majority of the cases in this country that are seen by judges are over copyright now. They're over copyright and over patent, and it's wasting the court's time as people are trolling businesses, trolling other businesses, and people putting other people under pressure, and knowing that it will cost us more to litigate this matter than it would be to just pay the person who's basically blackmailing us over copyright. It has become such a fucking quagmire. It is the most complicated thing to have to deal with if you're going to try and legislate over it, and it was written by people who called it the interweb. They had no fucking clue, and we're still operating on it because that's what we do in America. Anyway. People have a legal right to internet access, says Jim. Well, I've started something off and we haven't even gotten there yet, have we? So, you might think that this is a DMCA action because, they fucking said it. I called them today. I spoke to a representative, and she very clearly told me it's not. It's not. It's not a DMCA action. I said, is this a DMCA action like the email says? In which case, do I need to write you a letter and, in order to, rebut the claims? And then there's the 14 days and things. And she says, no, it's just an internal policy. You don't have anything to worry about. She kept saying that over and over and over again. You don't have anything to worry about, because I was asking her questions that she was not prepared to answer, and she just wanted me to accept, oh, okay. She thought I was calling because I was worried that something was going to happen to my account. What she laid out for me was Comcast's internal policy. When they receive something from apparently IP-Echelon.com, this third-party agency who nobody knows, and Comcast is just taking it on their word. It's not a DMCA action, so they're not held to actually do anything. They've just opened a hole in their system, and it has to be instantaneous, too. That's important. That's very important. Bear that in mind, that Comcast has automated this DMCA process for IP-Echelon.com. If IP-Echelon.com contacts them and says, this IP address was doing this thing, if they send a packet of data across the internet to a certain hole, to a certain IP port on a Comcast server somewhere, then this email is automatically generated. Because it happened while I was just as it had begun. So it's automated, and it's not part of the DMCA, and it claims to be part of the DMCA. So here's another piece of things. Well, I'll tell you how Comcast, what she told me how Comcast operates on this system. So they receive, this DMCA action from a party, and then they have an 8-step process. I'm at step 0 right now, which means if you don't do it again, don't worry about it. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Okay? But they have an 8-step process that starts with, you did it once, and then you did it twice, and then on the third thing we do this, and on the fourth thing we do this, 5 to, oh, you're getting close now, and the 6th is the threats upgrade, and then by the 7th and the 8th, I think the 7th one, they cut off your internet, and the 8th one, they cancel your contract entirely. So at the end of their 8-step process, you will lose your account with Comcast. On the 7th, you will lose all your access to the internet, which will happen based on the claims of IP-Echelon.com, based on the claims of this third-party company that no one is verifying that they even hold the copyright, that is not actually acting under the DMCA, where Comcast is held to a standard and obliged to do a thing. Comcast has just set up a policy internally where eventually they will take your internet away based on third-party claims. They're policing the internet, isn't it? At my ISP, we use the copyright claim mails as a news source of upcoming popular movies. Mosaic test. It's not been established whether they can actually cancel your contract one. Well, as far as they're concerned, I mean, look at this. Comcast reminds you that use of the service in any manner that constitutes an infringement of any copyrighted work is a violation of Comcast's acceptable use policy and may result in the suspension or termination of your service account. So they're looking at this as, your account is through us. We're a business. You signed a contract. You agreed in the, end user license agreement to behave a certain way on our platform. We'll do whatever the fuck we want with you at any given time. And apparently we'll do whatever the fuck we want with the internet. Now, here's the deal. I've been holding back on this, but I feel like I might be losing some of you. Here's what I just found out today. At a certain point in this process, how do I say this? Here's what I found out today from the woman who I spoke to at Comcast. They, God damn it. You know what? My brain is having a fart moment, so I'm going to come back to that. Because I got to figure out how to say it. One of the things that I learned from her is, shit, we're going to have to go to like a fucking live stream break because I'm really having a brain fart moment. There's like two things that were in my head that I wanted to talk about, and one of them I can't figure out how to say, and the other one that slipped out. It's my chronic fatigue syndrome. It gets in my head and makes things fucking staticky, and I can't fucking think for a minute. Question, if IP-Echelon, on order of a company, sets a honey trap torrent of something, is getting such as piracy or a legal free distribution? All questions that you'd want the law to answer and legislators and people like that, wouldn't you? Because that's an interesting concept. What if, in order to catch you torrenting their file, they put a fake file up? And then they go, ooh, he's torrenting our file. But the file you're torrenting wasn't the file that they claim it was. It was intentionally, very complicated thing for Comcast and IP-Echelon to be doing all on their own. So here, I'll add this to the story. While I was downloading the torrent, I got this email. Within 2 minutes of receiving the email, I was kicked offline. My internet service went down. My internet service doesn't go down. I mean, I've had issues with it lately. There have been specific reasons and specific things, and I've been working on it. But it doesn't go down like that. Not that way. And it hasn't done it, and the only times it's done it is when I was working with a Comcast agent to try and fix something. My internet service went down 2 minutes after receiving this email. So what I did was I cycled my modem and my router and went, what the hell? And then I got the internet back online, and then I carried on, and the torrent was still in the background downloading. And then my internet service went down again. And I couldn't access the internet anymore. So when I talked to this woman today at Comcast, I explained that to her. Well, I was downloading. Well, the torrent was active on my network. My internet service went down. And then when I got it back online, it went down again. And then when I stopped the torrent, it didn't go down anymore. Is Comcast cutting people's internet service off midstream, shutting people down, when they get one of these reports? Are you like literally just pulling the plug on people's internet? And she said, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have this 8-step process. She went back through it about on step 7. We might cancel your internet, but we don't kick people off of the internet while they're doing this. And that was going to be a big thing that I was going to talk about here tonight, was that they are now internet policing and kicking you off of the internet. She claims they didn't. Germacian, Cheering 5, says, yes, they do. Now, Comcast says one thing, Germacian says another, and my intuition and my gut sends to side with Germacian. But I'll tell you what, there's only two possibilities here. Either Comcast is interrupting your service when you are downloading a file based on a third party claiming over a system that has nothing to do with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that you're in the process of taking a file. Either it's Comcast doing it, or it's IP-Echelon doing a denial of service attack, firing off a possibly distributed, a DDoS, but possibly not, a denial of service attack. And in case you're wondering, we'll come back to net neutrality, what a denial of service attack is. You can read about it here. It's basically where you flood so much data to someone's IP address that they can't get any data in or out because it's just clogged. So either IP-Echelon detects your IP downloading something over the torrent, submits it to Comcast, and then attacks your IP address, or Comcast breaks the connection themselves. In which case, we're in a whole nother fucking world of internet policing that they are not allowed to do, that no one has given them permission to do. Whether they're allowed to do it or not is a question because of the death of that. What did Germacian follow up with? Because yes, they do. I want to hear more. Echelon can get copyright, meaning that they can distribute it, but others downloading it from them may not, said Mosaic Task Force. Why would they tell you if they were, says Major Exelberth. Why wouldn't they tell me? I don't know, because it's illegal? Maybe. I think it's okay to upload torrents, and even okay to download the content that is referred by the torrent, but not okay to upload that referred content. That's where I stood on the law, too. My understanding of the law was, yes, you can make a copy of anything. Because, the concept is that this is not theft. Theft is defined by depriving someone of property. You take it from them and then they no longer have it. This has been a problem with copyright since, media, analog or digital, existed, was the idea that when you steal something like this, it's not theft. And the law for a minute there didn't know how to deal with that concept. No one is losing anything, it's just someone else is gaining a copy of it. How do you deal with that? And someone is definitely being harmed by it because the person who made the content is selling the content. And if you can sell it to one person and then they make a copy and sell it on to someone else, that's a problem. That's going to screw up the economy of the people who are creating this content. So something has to be done, but it's not theft. So how do we deal with it? And my understanding of the law, which I'm not a lawyer, was that where we came to on that was that it's not illegal to make a copy. It's illegal to use the copy or to redistribute the copy. That was my understanding. But that being the case, then they have no action to take right here. Because I'm at 14% on download that's going to take quite a long time on a file that, by the way, yeah, you own GTA 5, or they don't, not the people making the claim, but Rockstar does. But here's another issue that has to be, addressed. In the law, not by Comcast and fucking IP-Echelon, but at the law. A torrent is made of a bunch of tiny files. Well, it's made of all the files that are in the, download, but they're being served in tiny little bits and increments and in chunks from a million different sources. And in addition to that, the file that you're downloading over a torrent tends to be wrapped and zipped and RAR'd and put together in a completely different format than the original game was distributed in. So there is now additional work on top of it. It's not a one-for-one, binary copy of the original game. The game's in there, it's been packaged there, you're going to end up with it, but that's another complication that the law needs to address, not Comcast and a third-party middleman. And I don't know how it has addressed it. Have you ever played GTA 5 before, Pawn? Would be interesting to do a stream on it now. No, I've never played it. I was going to grab it and see if I liked it at all, but I wasn't going to pay Rockstar because I don't. Look at this shit. What's going on here? Rockstar has hired IP-Echelon.com, who is either an agency who is launching denial of service attacks against people who they detect on, their IP, or they're contacting Comcast, and Comcast is the one denying service. and knocking you offline and inconveniencing you and hassling you. Yeah, Rockstar's just a piece of shit. They don't deserve money from anybody about anything. I don't care what they make. At the end of the day, their business practices are so despicable, they might as well have, I don't know, slaves in Malaysia. Could be other seeds across your torrent causing you to drop too. Why do you suddenly assume a giant, faceless, careless provider is kicking you off for a $60 game? Because it's never happened, and I've torrented a lot of other things. A lot of legal things. A lot of things that nobody sent me an email about this. So here's another aspect. This is the thing that I couldn't remember how to say a minute ago. Another aspect of this is that Comcast, when I called them up, they said, here's the only two things that we need from you, okay, that we ask of you, that we demand of you, is that the file that you downloaded, Grand Theft Auto 5, which I never completed the download because it was, kicking me off, you need to delete that file, okay, what else? You need to uninstall the method that you used to get the file. Now, let me just put this back together for you, because this is definitely against the law. This is definitely against the law. Comcast is now in an actionable position with this one. Let me break this down for you. There's an 8-step process by which Comcast will suspend your service, okay? If somebody sends in one of these claims against you, and then Comcast is going to tell you, uninstall BitTorrent, which is what I'm using. Uninstall the program that you used to make it. And if you don't, they will use that as part of their reason for action for kicking you off of the internet. Here's why Comcast is definitely doing something illegal in an actionable position here. People sell torrenting software. Giving you a second to work it out in your head. Comcast is telling you you cannot have access to the torrent side of the internet. You know what else is distributed amongst torrents other than pirated pieces of media and stuff? Everything! Everything of a large file size that hosts don't want to pay for the bandwidth serving out. They don't want to take up their bandwidth from the servers and stuff like that. They'll release it as a torrent. They'll usually release it as, yes, we've got it on the server for you to download directly if you want, but it's going to be faster, and we'd appreciate it if you downloaded it via this torrent. Comcast is now issuing a demand when you get one of these complaints that you uninstall your torrenting software. That means that Comcast is now practicing antitrust on those who sell torrenting software. There is no denial of that. They tell you uninstall your torrenting software. That is Xbox telling you, or Microsoft telling you, that you can't have your Xbox repaired at an unauthorized store, or else it voids your warranty. That's what that is. That is antitrust in no, that is anti-competition, and that destroys another market, and it impugns on their ability to sell things. That there is no question about that being illegal, and that's what Comcast is doing today. It is okay when you use it for personal use, but not when you use it for commercial to actually earn money with it. It's in the spirit of personal growth. What are you talking about, Dendy? What's the conversation going on there? Torrenting Linux is lawful, says Mosaic Task Force. Absolutely, torrenting is completely lawful. Here's the thing. Torrents are just another corner of the internet. And that's what this argument kind of ends up coming down to. That's what this argument kind of ends up coming down to. Is that Comcast is now deciding that you, along with IP-Echelon, this third-party intermediary agency that you never heard of before, but that apparently gets to play judge and jury in terms of, oh, you're not allowed to be downloading that file. Well, how the fuck do you know? Who are you? Show me that you're actually hired by the guys who own GTA 5. Prove to me that the file I'm downloading actually contains GTA 5. Prove to me that it is illegal for me to download GTA 5, because until I install it and run it and play it, is that illegal or not? Am I not allowed to make a copy of software? Am I not allowed to make a copy of data that's out on the internet and do something else with it? You're the one making the decision, IP-Echelon, along with Comcast, and that's not up for you to do. At least it didn't used to be until the death of this thing. Now there is at least enough question in the air, and at least enough doubt in the air, that these entities think that they can do it. It comes down to this. Torrents are just another portion of the internet. You think of, people think of, the internet as web pages and, what else you got? I got my Twitter app and my Facebook app, and I've got my, this and my that and the other thing. I've got Discord. Discord is internet relay chat, okay? It's something built around the concept of internet relay chat. That is that's been around for ages. It's a specific thing on the internet. The web is built around HTTP. You have TCP, you have UDP, you have IRC, you have all of these different corners of the internet. They're all the internet, and today, Comcast is telling you as a, user of Comcast, download the wrong file, as directed by one of us, as directed by some third party that's paying us, and you are not allowed to access this corner of the internet anymore. For we have become the internet police. Not the NSA, not the CIA, not the FBI, not the FCC, not anyone in the US government. Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, IP-Echelon, and any other company that does business in this weird, fucked up space where apparently you can pay a company, an internet service provider, money to stop people from being able to access certain portions of the internet. And the question is, how much do I have to come up with and pay IP-Echelon to use their direct line, their their red phone to Commissioner Gordon's desk that goes straight to Comcast that starts knocking people offline if it's Comcast? We're not sure. And sending out threatening emails and threatening their service, their internet service on the whole after multiple abuses. How much do I have to pay you in order to do that to one of my competitors? Because we're relying on this third party that no oversight, business to verify that the person who they're operating on their behalf is doing their due diligence, is checking to make sure that the copyright owner is the person who's setting all this up. Because it doesn't have to be. It sure doesn't have to be, and there's no oversight, and there's no regulation, and no one's double-checking it. I asked Comcast while I was on the phone with them today, while I was on the phone with their representative, what do you do to verify that the copyright claimer is the claimer? And their answer was basically nothing. They just trust. Was I right, Pawn? Did you make IP-Echelon send a fake trigger? What? Mosaic Task Force cheered 5. I think demand is a wrong word. It may be a support person being helpful to parents not knowing how to stop an upload. It is legal to have, but hard for most to understand. She said in no uncertain terms on the phone with me, you have to delete the file and you have to uninstall the program used. And importantly, Mosaic Task Force, because this process is an 8-step process, and because they are logging my use of under here, I gotta lean out of the way, but right here, logging my use of what it is I'm using, and they're telling me uninstall BitTorrent. If they see me using BitTorrent again, if this company makes another claim against me while I'm using BitTorrent, now is that going to be an extra step on the line? Because I don't know how this process works. You know how? Because it's not the fucking law. It's an internal policy of Comcast that they made up on their own in order to police the internet. Without the authority, without the, American public stepping in and saying, yeah, that's how we want it done. Without any oversight, without us being able to vote people into office and say, change that because we don't like it. Comcast and these third-party companies are now in control of your internet. They get to decide what you see, what you don't see. They will apparently kick you offline. And the thing is, we don't know if it's Comcast who kicked me offline because they claim it. They don't do that. Or if it was IP-Echelon launching a denial of service attack. But in the latter case, that means that Comcast, who's not kicking me offline, is trusting the word of someone who sends them a message saying this guy's doing this, and then launches a denial of service attack against their own IP addresses. You asked him, if you see torrents of Wednesday shows, you can contact Comcast. She is wrong, then, says Mosaic Task Force. She is wrong, or is Comcast wrong? How do we know Who the fuck would you have to talk to in order to know? That's the problem with unregulated, free, fair markets. You don't know, do you? And when somebody decides that they're going to be the new internet police, what are you going to do? Where do I look up your policy? Well, you call a person who may or may not know what the hell they're talking about, who's reading from a book, and she did sound as though she was reading from the book in India. Should that matter? Kind of, yeah, because I want to ask her some detailed questions, and she's in a call center where, today she's doing Comcast, and tomorrow she'll be doing, some kind of lawnmower assembly that she can buy from Home and Garden TV or something. So yeah, it kind of matters in that sense that it's an arbitrary, if I wanted to like step up the chain in Comcast, I probably can't even do so. Talk is too incompetent to be evil. Who's Talk? When Comcast and IP-Echelon are in charge of your internet, not mine. That's right, in America. We're talking about the United States of America, and we're talking about a company that has a monopoly, along with 3 others. It's an oligopoly, but it's Comcast and AT&T and Verizon, primarily for internet here. We also have Google, and we've got some smaller guys who also provide it, but by and large, from coast to coast, it's those fellas, and I've shown you in the last live stream how the evidence of them colluding in order to take down Netflix. So the question is, what are your policies? And then, okay, that's your public-facing policy. First, you got to get their public-facing policy out of them, because it's entirely possible. In Major Exelberth, I'm with you, or Mosaic Task Force, I'm with you in that she probably didn't know what the fuck she was talking about, because I was asking questions above her pay grade. So now, what do I got to do? What do you have to do as a customer of American Internet? You call them up, you call the number that they tell you to call up. They have like a form letter that they want to read to you. And then you say, I've got some questions. Okay, go ahead, ask them. And then they start giving you answers that they don't actually know the truth behind. And then what you got to do? You got to upgrade and say, well, I want to talk to someone who might actually know what the answers are. And how many steps up the phone do you actually have to get to what the answers are? And then those are the public-facing answers. And then there's the private answers. This is the stuff we tell the customers, and then this is the stuff we do behind, closed doors. And this isn't conspiracy theory, and this isn't crazy. Most businesses have a book that tells people how to operate, and then they have a book that that they send out to the media if there are questions saying this is how we educate people, but there's differences. There's pages removed from the book that they tell you about. This is the reason why you don't let people establish their own law, and the internet is a very important thing. Let's consider for a moment that Comcast, as Dramatian said, yes they do, with the Cheer 5, let's presume that Comcast is kicking me offline when they detect, when IP-Echelon sends them a packet of information saying, Ronan Pawn is downloading GTA 5, get him. They send out this email, and then let's assume Comcast is the one who kicked me offline, and it wasn't IP-Echelon who DDoSed me. In that instance, we've got Comcast shutting me down based on them saying so. Let's talk about international security. Let's talk about the largest internet service provider in the country, Comcast, having an open hole in their security where all you have to do is get a hold of IP-Echelon's credentials and then just spam IP addresses through an open portal on their servers. Just go right down the list, 001.001.00, and just go down the list of all the possible IP addresses. Let's talk about the possibility of China or Russia going, oh shit, there's an open window that Comcast left in its processes so that it can make extra money off of third parties who pay them money in order to do their bidding. Oh, fuck. We can get in there and just ship a whole bunch we can ship as many IP addresses as we can over the course of, 30 minutes and just take a third of the country offline. Residential clients as well as business customers. Let's talk about that. Is that what's happening? Is that not what's happening? Is just the email is all that happens when Comcast gets this notification? Is IP-Echelon doing DDoS attacks on the IP addresses of the people who they claim? Or is it Comcast actually knocking them offline? Because it's kind of pretty fucking important, and we don't know. And we're not going to get straight answers from IP-Echelon or from Comcast, because in either instance, someone's doing something illegal. But something illegal is happening. And they are acting as your new internet police in the United States of America. Let's talk about sex, baby. All right. We can talk about sex when we come back from the first live stream break. In EU, we have a law, Regulation 2016-679, stroke 679, that all companies selling products in EU must have a data protection officer, the easiest way to contact competent employees with IT and legal knowledge. Oh, to live somewhere where people gave a shit. One would presume that Comcast can only take down the services of their own customers, says Hologram 1. Right. So what you do is you set up this monitoring agents. The IP-Echelon inserts themselves into the torrent stream, which, by the way, means that they technically are hosting the file that they're then reporting you for downloading. It's a bit of a trap there, because that's the only way they'd get the data, isn't it? Maybe not. You might be able to do a poll on active seeds and find out who the IP addresses are. I don't know how that works. But they get the information, they send it off to Comcast, and then, they don't just send it off to Comcast. What they do is they do a who is. They do a trace route, and they find out where that IP is coming from. Bing, 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 bing. Who does this IP address belong to in terms of customers? Oh, it's a Comcast one? Well, then send it out to Comcast. Oh, it's an AT&T one? Send it off to Verizon? That's all they have to do. And now I'm left sitting here, and you should be left sitting here going, so how deep does this rabbit hole go? Does then IP-Echelon launch a denial of service attack against the IP address? Is that part of the package that Rockstar paid for? If you pay us $20,000, we'll do this thing with Comcast per month, $20,000 per month. If you pay us $50,000 per month, we'll do this thing with Comcast, and we'll have somebody who, they're not really associated, but they're associated. They'll launch DDoS attacks on the IP addresses that we find downloading GTA 5. What the fuck is going on here? And how complicit is Comcast? We know this based on what... We know this based on what they emailed me and then what they told me on the phone. They're lying about DMCA. They're misrepresenting themselves. Unless the lady was wrong. Unless when I asked her, is this, an actual DMCA action? Is this something that I need to counter-file against? And she said, no, it's an internal thing. Well, then you're lying in your email. You're literally just trying to make people, you're scaring people. It's scare tactics. This is a giant corporation that controls, more than a third of the internet access in the United States of America. They possibly have more than 50%. I don't know where they stand. If only we had the internet and could access it immediately right here and now. Comcast, what would you call that? It's market share. How many people in America use Comcast? Can you give me, images for it? Make it easy for me. Pay TV market share. Well, this is for television. Comcast has 22%. Comcast Internet. Let's see. Internet market share? In fact, just Internet market share. U.S. Internet market share. Will that do it for me? What do we got here? Comcast, 37%, according to some graphic I pulled up randomly over Google. So you know it's true. They control the most. Actually, what is this? Comcast officially named worst let's click on this too. This will be fun. Maybe this graphic doesn't even represent that kind of thing. Most hated company, largest internet service provider. What year was this? 2014. Worst company in America for 2014. And they hold 37% of the market share. Do they have a monopoly? So everyone hates them, but we just love paying them money? Jermasian Cheering 5, they were trying to buy Fox to get a European presence. Oh shit, run people. Run! Ren Phoenix says, is all of this based on how you got disconnected from your internet while torrenting over an open BitTorrent? As soon as you didn't proxy or VPN, you are subject to attack by anyone who has access to that seed. I don't understand how you took this logical leap and decided it was Comcast. I deal with all of the internet providers every day, and I can guarantee you they don't give a fuck what you do as long as you pay them every month. Well, I'm not making the assumption that it's Comcast. I'm saying it's either Comcast or it's IP-Echelon. Because it's never happened to me before on any other torrent, and I've torrented some things that were, and I've torrented some things that were, I've never been kicked off of the... It's ridiculous. Who else would have an incentive to knock me off other than Rockstar or IP-Echelon? And if Rockstar is paying IP-Echelon to do this kind of shit... I'm making it's called what's his name's razor, right? Occam's razor. I'm making the most logical assumption. I've never been kicked offline for torrenting a thing and then torrenting a thing and then kicked off again. Any dickface on the internet who access to that seed, says Ren Phoenix. Sure, they could. What's their incentive? What's their agenda? Why? Why are they doing it? Who's got the incentive? You know, if this is a murder mystery, we don't just go, well, anyone could have killed him. And I know it looks like it would most likely be these two, but you know, it could have been anyone on the planet. We're fucked. We'll never solve this case, right? You set in on your prime suspects. Who has a reason? Who else was doing something else at exactly the same fucking time? IP-Echelon, contacting Comcast via a direct channel that they have to Comcast because it happened so quickly. It was automated on IP-Echelon's side, but it was also automated on Comcast's side. There was no, human hands on this thing. So my assumption is an assumption, but the idea that it's an irrational, illogical assumption that doesn't make any sense. Shall we start torrenting GTA 5 again today? Well, we're doing this live stream and see how long the live stream stays up and see what happens? Are we going to assume that the whoever it was that was kicked me off the other day, just this random individual online with no incentive to do so, decides to do so again? I mean, it is true that random dickbags on the internet will just fuck with people for no other reason than because they can. Yeah, and it's true that sometimes people kill people in the street for no other reason. But there's a guy standing there with a knife and blood on his cuff. And you want to just assume that it's somebody that, it's probably somebody anywhere in the world. I'm not being unreasonable here, given the circumstances. I've never had that happen. While I was torrenting, I get kicked off. As soon as I stop torrenting, I'm not kicked off again. I've never been DDoSed either. You have to be like, my internet upstream here is 12 megs. My downstream is 75 megs. Like, you got to do a DDoS, don't you? Like, if you try and take me down with your internet alone, I don't know, maybe you could, especially if you're if you're not using Comcast. If you're in any other nation where you've got bandwidth, then you don't have to pay the ridiculous amounts of money for it. I think it's incredibly unreasonable to assume random dickbag went after me for downloading GTA 5 at the exact same moment that IP-Echelon sent an email to Comcast or sent something, a data packet, and then Comcast sent me an email. That sounds like that's the stretch right there. That's the big stretch. That was someone else. So I had 3 people fucking with me at once instead of 2. Instead of 1 IP-Echelon using Comcast to fuck with me. Now I've got 2. Okay. I get 110 down and 50 up. What the fuck, Comcast, says RMAJ. Yeah, and I pay extra for my internet. Because we do the live stream, so I need more internet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've talked a little bit about how you've got new internet police out there. Comcast is deciding on their own, with help from third parties, that there are certain areas of the internet you shouldn't be going to, and there are certain files you shouldn't be going to, despite whatever the legality is or isn't. They're making the decision, and then they are threatening that we will remove your account. At the very least, they are threatening we will close down your account at the end of this process if you keep doing it. That's a threat. That is a threat to, take down your internet if you keep downloading the files that they have made an agreement with a third party by their own admission, not over the DMCA. They have a choice in this matter. They've opened a special hole for a third party to automatically report things to them, and then they just trust what that third party says, and then they take action on that third party's behalf, and it includes eventually taking down your internet completely. If that is not policing the internet, I don't know what the fuck is. If that is not deciding there are certain corners of the internet you're not allowed to go to, I don't know what the fuck is. And in the process of calling them and saying, what's this about? They tell me, here's the 2 things that we demand of you, so that you can, be right in our eyes. Delete the file that you downloaded and uninstall the application you used to download it, which is definitely antitrust, which is attacking torrents in general, attacking the idea of the torrent side of the internet, which is real good for them because, Comcast, they got lots of copyrights and lots of properties. So, yeah, natural enemy would be torrenting. because it takes it outside of their control, outside of their revenue stream, outside of where they monetize everything, and it creates a more open internet. Torrents are, we all have a piece of the file. We all got the file, and then everybody who's got the file shares it around, just a little piece of it, so that we can have it without having a centralized place where if somebody goes to take it down, it's not there anymore. If it's a torrent, thousands of people have it, and you get on to torrent it, and, 500 of them can be knocked offline, and you can still get the file, and it still exists out there. That is absolutely against the will and the whim and the wish and the incentives of a corporation like Comcast / NBC / all of the other businesses that fall under that same wing. So yeah, are they against torrenting? Abso-fucking-lutely. They will shut you down if they can come up with enough reasons. Reasons that are coming in from a third party, pay to play, pay them, and they will report people using a certain IP address with their special lane, their in YouTube terms, their CMS account that gives them special access to Comcast, and they will move your account ever closer and ever closer toward being cut off. And maybe, just maybe, Comcast will shut you down, or if not that, then IP-Echelon will DOS your IP address. Which is just, if that's what's going on, and it's not Comcast shutting you down, that's almost even worse. Because now Comcast has opened a special, window and has a special relationship with a company like IP-Echelon, who is directing attacks toward Comcast's own IP addresses. Good way to choose people to trust, huh? Cheer 5. DOS, use amplification. You only need 1% of the connection. You want DOS. All right, so not a distributed denial of service attack, just a regular old denial of service attack. Is it all about market and current infrastructure and distance to a node that determines your speed? Older towns will have lower speeds. No, Ren Phoenix. It is not about that. It is not about that. It is about how much you pay them. It is about, I'm paying extra in order to get my 7512 up. Just for internet, I pay $49.99 a month, and that is a deal that expires because that's a special offer. And when it expires, it's like $65 a month for 75 down, 12 up. And if you want just regular internet, it's $25. I think $25 to $30, and they'll give you 3 up and 6 down. I don't know what you get because I don't even look at those packages anymore. But it is not about the limitations of cable. Cable is a big, thick wire. And they're not charging based on this is all we can provide. We don't have enough bandwidth to go around. They're not. They are absolutely not. Okay, they have glass in the ground. By the time it hits my end, it's copper. But it's glass. Detroit is a major city. It's a major city. They're not giving. We have, in certain areas of Detroit, you can get Verizon's Fios. I'm just not in that area. But this is all about money. And it's all about, look at other nations. Look at other nations. I say that Detroit's an old city, so are you fucking kidding me? Europe? Europe has some old cities, if you hadn't noticed. Listen, we'll be back after this live stream break. 7 minutes, we'll come back, we'll talk about something else completely. I just had to talk about that because, that's absolutely what's going on. Am I wrong? Is Comcast not policing the internet here? Is Comcast not deciding outside of the DMCA and outside of the written law and outside of, legislation and authority and, people deciding you're going to be in charge now? Here are the rules. We wrote them up and we want you to, have oversight over them. Now that net neutrality is dead and there's no regulation of these guys, they think that they can just write whatever they want into their end user license agreements. And because you want internet, you have to sign up. And when you sign up, boom, they got it. They got you. Now we can do whatever the fuck we want with your internet. So, are we not where the government in China and Russia control the internet in order to distribute things the way that seems fit for their benefit? Are we not seeing that same thing from Comcast, where Comcast has a lot of economic incentive to undermine the concept of torrents because it happens outside of the revenue stream that they are trying to monetize? Completely different incentives. One trying to control a populace and control delivery of information and shape reality. One, just trying to make money. Trying to make as much money as they can. Trying to make their properties and also their friends' properties and their business partners happy. and doing exactly the same thing. Even though torrents are just a part of the internet, just like IRC and HTTP and TCP and UDP, although it's just another part of the internet that you're paying to have access to, we would prefer it if you couldn't get access to that. And if you access it in a way we don't like, we'll kick you offline. That's not your role. Your role is to bring the pipe into my building and go home. You don't decide what I do on the internet any more than the Detroit sewage system decides what I flush down my fucking toilet. Or what I ate before I took a shit last night. Bring it into my house and go the fuck home. I'm paying you for that. And as I understand the law, you really, really should not have a right to step in there and say, well, this is the part of the internet that we want. And if we allow, we're going to allow it because it's America. Nobody ever stands up and grows a backbone and actually does anything about it. They all start trying to justify and say, well, slowly but surely, we'll just lose sections of the internet. They'll just go away. They'll call them dark web, and they'll call them terrorist sites, and they'll call them whatever they need to do, just like they've done with all of our media, and they'll just shape an argument and market it a certain way, and at the end of the day, they'll do exactly what the FCC did with deregulating the internet. They will not listen to what 81% of the population voted and said, don't deregulate the internet. We need net neutrality. And they said, sorry, what? We just turned off net neutrality. We'll be back in 7 minutes after this live stream break for more ranting about the state of the world. Porn not out.
The streets of Salem were a terrifying sight. The witches dancing with the demons in the night. Their evil minions watch the town while it's in bed. Wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead. Old Reverend Paris knew that something was amiss. He felt the evil from a spiritual abyss. He knew the time had come to purify the town. Hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down. No time was wasted in assembling a squad. This pitchfork army on a mission sent from God. No witch was saved from Reverend Paris's brigade. Their crusade, their crusade, their crusade. Call the magistrate and don't you wait another minute, 'cause this town is going to hell if we don't put away the sinning. And we got no time to let a jury have their turn. Let 'em burn, let 'em burn, let 'em burn. The damned were crammed into a carriage on the square. Their faces battered and their bodies all were bare. The Reverend led them to an isolated hill. Time to kill, time to kill, time to kill. One by one their necks were snapped beneath the cedar tree. The spirits vanished and the demons all were free. They dug a hole to hold the devilish remains. They were slain, they were slain, they were slain. The town was safe from all those wicked dissidents. They could continue with their life of innocence, dispensing justice from a higher power. They built a church atop the spirits and the bones. Their moans were heard as they were laying down the stones. But the witches got revenge beneath that steeple bell. They cast a spell, sent the Reverend to hell.
Hello, I am the Ronan Vaughn, and welcome back to a twitch.tv/Ronan Vaughn livestream on twitch.tv/Ronan Vaughn. This is a good, ramble, wasn't it? About the internet service providers and Comcast and how they're fucking everybody up. It's a good one. Let me just, before we come off of this entirely, let's just get down to, what we can say for sure. Let's throw out all of the pieces that maybe, that are assumptions and just gathered on. Jesus, I got kicked off twice while I was torrenting that file, huh? Because it is entirely possible that Rockstar has, employed a devious company, a devious little organization somewhere that, gets the IP address of anyone in a certain torrent and then goes after them because they're downloading GTA 5. So they could have that organization while they're paying IP-Echelon in order to do this, the exact same monitoring. So a duplication of services. So what's the likelihood of those? But it's possible. Rockstar employs someone who DOSes anybody, who denial of service attacks anyone who's in the torrent stream for a GTA 5 file. Well, they employ another company who's also in those torrent streams watching and monitoring and making sure that if anybody is in there and they track down their IP to the ISP and then they send them off a thing. And then you got, so let's strip it all apart. Then you got Comcast sending me an email because they got it from IP-Echelon. Strip it off and say, okay, that's not with Comcast. And then let's strip it down to its bare bone basics. What we know for a fact is that Comcast, I just called them, and they told me very specifically, we have an 8-step process in here, where if the offenses continue to repeat, the offenses as reported by an independent third party who no one is verifying and who is interpreting law as they see fit, and no one's double checking and no one's looking in on, if the offenses repeat, eventually we will disconnect your internet service. And when I call them, they tell me, let's give the benefit of the doubt here and say that the demand that they made, that I delete any file that I downloaded and that I uninstall BitTorrent, let's say it's not a demand, let's say it's a request. Then their request that I uninstall that program and no longer use it over their internet service, that request ends in them disconnecting my internet service. So it's not a request, it is a demand, and that means that they are absolutely policing the internet. They are absolutely deciding which portions of the internet you can and cannot access, including undermining torrents, undermining just the concept of distribution of media via torrents, and attacking the business practices and the business structure of anyone who makes torrenting software and who either sells it or you can pay money and remove the ads or something like that. And that is definitely against the law. In the EU, it's not even legal for Microsoft to distribute Windows with things like Media Player and whatnot in it, because they felt that that was undermining the market of software developers to manufacture, develop, and sell these pieces of software that do those functions, where Microsoft was packaging in their internet browsers and their applications on top of applications on top of applications so that they could do what they were going to do with marketing and media and how they could get money. That's not legal over there anymore, and it's still not legal, although it's done a lot in the Americas. It's still not legal over here for you to have a policy, according to legislation passed in the early 1970s, for you to have a policy that undermines an industry, that says you can't do this unless you go through us because you bought the product from us. If there's someone else who provides a service, you can't have a policy on your service that says you're not allowed to do business with them. You just can't, because it undermines our economy and it destroys competition in the marketplace. Not that there is any left to destroy these days in America, but just saying that at its bare, at the least you can possibly say, Comcast is definitely policing the internet because of this policy, and they're doing something absolutely illegal in the form of, telling people, please uninstall that software, and if you don't and you keep using it and we track you down 8 times using it, or we get reports of you using it 8 times, we'll fucking we'll break our contract. 7 times we'll take you off the internet. 8 times you won't even be able to get TV from us. You know what I say? Just nuke it from orbit and start over. I'll see y'all on Mars with my buddy Elon. We should absolutely do that. Should get on it. Don't worry. We've got a guy in office right now who's working on getting us all nuked to death. What else did I have loaded up here? Denial of service attack. If you yourself are encountering these sorts of problems, ladies and gentlemen, if you're concerned over the fact that the internet on whole is not available to you anymore because your internet service provider may be monitoring your activity and deciding which portions to serve to you and which portions not to serve to you, well, there are options. Those options are virtual private networks, and one of the best of them is ExpressVPN, I've been told. I honestly have no idea. But I looked up when this all happened. I was like, Jesus Christ. This is going on, huh? Like, you really do. You have to now pay a company in order to access the full internet and not just half the internet and not just the portion of the internet they want you to. Okay, well, what are the options out there? And this one looks pretty good. ExpressVPN, if you're looking for one. $667 a month if you buy 15 months as a package. If you pay them $100, you get a year and 3 months worth of service. And these guys have no bandwidth restrictions on like how much you can use over the VPN. You turn it on and you go, and you can forget about it, is how it appears to me. Look into it yourself if you need to grow the weed. What? RMAJ? What? Why do you think I'm on Mars early? To grow the weed. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of that little diatribe. The next little diatribe goes on to Friday. No, Thursday. Was it Thursday? It was Thursday. It was. On Thursday, Brandon Fry, director and writer of the short film Bleak that he and I did, where I starred in it and edited it, we had submitted our film Bleak to a film festival, to a number of film festivals, and we were actually accepted as entries to the Sault Ste. Marie Film Festival, as well as to the Maumee, Ohio Film Festival. And we, being close enough to attend this one and not destroy ourselves, went to the Maumee Film Festival in Ohio. On Thursday night, we went down there, and there was a party that sadly I didn't get any photographs of, but there was a party for the, selected content creators, the film submitters, to gather in a soundstage, a very nice, professional, beautiful soundstage that they had. It was part of the sort of advertising, hey, filmmakers, if you need a soundstage. Very cool little party that they put together for us. RMAJ Ice Creaming, I tried a VPN called PIA. Don't expect the same speed. With PIA, I only got 7.1 down and 0.5 up with what I was connected to when you were connected to a server in the same city. Yeah, it will slow you down a bit. That doesn't seem bad. I mean, the 0.5 up sucks, but the 7.1 down, I mean, it depends on what you're used to, but 7.1 is pretty good for the fact that your signal is bouncing off of somebody else's server and then going out to the internet. That ain't bad. But look into those guys, whoever it was, was VPN Express or something like that. They were rated as, the best of them, 2018 by a number of articles, and it looked like a hell of a deal. I'm used to 110s, says RMAJ. Well, yeah, then that's something you only want to turn on when you're doing things where you need it. Den D saying, by the way, remember me asking you guys if you knew the Joe Rogan show? I was on the Joe Rogan show that Elon smoked the joint. Were you? Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't really watched, or I haven't tuned into the Joe Rogan show, but I'm aware of it. I'm aware of Joe Rogan. Seems like a cool fellow. Anyway, Maumee. We went to the film festival, night one, Thursday night, went over to a little bar that was right across from the sound stage, which also the sound stage conveniently, accessed right next to a sports bar, with pretty waitress, who flirted with me a little bit, who told me about her Halloween costume from 3 years ago where she was Harley Quinn with the red and black and the face makeup and the playing card things all along and the things spells on the end of the so first night soundstage thing, little party where meet and greet, shake hands, everybody gets to talk to one another. They had there a company that was showing off a camera that they rent, the camera, just the box for the camera, just the body of the camera before the glass, and they had so many different lenses and things on this thing. The body alone, $60,000 for this camera, and I got to play with it. I got on the back behind the tripod and unlocked it and did swiveling around, zooming in. They had a big controlling thing out here where you can do the focus thing on a big wheel so that you can turn it easier and stuff. Pretty neat. Met a bunch of the filmmakers for the festival. That was Thursday night. Then we went back to the sports bar and I just, got Brandon as drunk as I possibly could. Just poured alcohol down his throat and mine. Really blew out the old pipes, and that didn't work out so well for the next day. But, so this is the next day, footage from the next day. This is where our films were shown at the Maumee, Majigger, this film festival at the Maumee Theater downtown. And inside, they had the MFF 2018 Maumee Film Festival stuff set up in a little ticketing booth. And amongst the swag items that were available were these posters. Brandon got me a poster. He got me and him a poster. So now I've got a little poster from our experience, something to hang on to. And we went into the theater, and there's the most interesting of the stories don't involve actually any of this. It's being, hung over and trying to figure out what we were going to do between the time that we checked out of the hotel and the time that the film festival started. But we went into the theater, and this was it. Pretty impressive, sized theater going on here. I wonder what else they use this for, because it's a big one, not a giant screen, not a cinema in the, go to the theater's 12 screens at your local AMC sense, but very nice place. The speakers were friggin' incredible. We watched here's the shot backward from the stage. We watched all the people who were in our class, in our lineup. We were in the drama and comedy block for the evening, and we closed it out, which was a pretty cool thing to do. You know, just in general, before we'd been there, it was like, all right, they've picked us for last. That's cool. The other thing, once we'd seen it, that made it cool was that all of the other films were, you know, God, did they drag on. God, did they drag on. So then they got to ours. It was 5 minutes long. It's tight. It's compact. It gets in. It gets out. Everybody else is, God, here's something. All right, if you're going to make films for a film festival, people, like, don't leave your credits on screen for 1.5 minutes with a slow scroll. Don't do that to people. At the beginning of this thing, you know, the audience, and there was a lot more people there. This was an early shot. But the audience, we're sitting there and we're clapping at the end, you know, when it starts to play the credits. Okay, that was, you know, now we clap. That's what you do. You know, liked it, didn't like it, you clap now. So we start clapping, and then the credits roll for the next 45 seconds or a minute, and then it cuts to black, and then we're all like, okay, one more time? One more time, because it feels awkward, you know? Now it's completely over, and the music cuts out, and the credits stop rolling, and it's like, I guess we clap again. Don't do that. Get in and get out, for Christ's sake. You know? Another thing that you can go ahead and not bother doing when you're submitting to a film festival is having, 30 seconds worth of before the film bullshit. You know, you go to a movie, and they bring up, Universal Pictures, in association with Miramax, in association with, and then somebody's fucking logo floating around, all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, I deal with that because I'm here for an hour and a half of a film that's, got millions of dollars put into it. Sure, I'll sit here and let you roll that stuff. When your film is going to be 8 to 12 minutes long, and the first minute of it is you putting your logo on screen and doing your thing, and then some other company that's, tangentially involved, and maybe the guy who's did the lighting for you, he wanted a thing through. Don't do that. For fuck's sake. These people need to YouTube more often. You gotta get in and grab their attention, and then when you're done, get the fuck out, because they're already clicking on to the next video. Tier 5, that's their ego stroke. Yeah, our ego stroke was the movie opens up, you get the title scrolled in on the screen, and then boom, it started, and it doesn't stop, and then boom, at the end, we show you 3 names, fade them in, fade them out, gone. And I feel like people were cheering just because it was over. Just because the block of movies that we'd all just sat there and watched, and ours was like, in, out. Oh, that was it? Oh, yes! Bravo! Bravo! You got in, you got out, you did your thing. Jesus Christ. If only everyone had done that. So, Pawn, why you do this then? You call the stream getting in and out. You gotta get in there, you gotta do your thing, and then you gotta get out. It's actually, I can't tell you how that relates to the, to the hangover day that we spent before we arrived at the thing there, because it's very important. But yeah, the best part of this whole trip, Thursday and Friday, it was cool to see our video on the big screen. Be perfectly honest with you, I learned a thing, which is that if you're going to be editing something that's going to be played in a proper theater with, just a gobshite of speakers, you don't want to edit it so that your neutral, sort of your average decibel level is -6. Because that's where I edited for. I edit for like -6 on, so if 0 is maximum volume before you start clipping, then -3 decibels and -6 decibels. I edit for the average to be -6. I edit for average peak to be -3, and my highest peak to be 0. That's what I go for. On YouTube, and on Twitch, you want this sound just up in your ears. You're listening on, desktop speakers or headphones or something like that. When you're in a theater that has like 6 banks of speakers on either side, and the subwoofers and all that kind of stuff going on, I think you want to be editing for more like -12 for your average, and a lot of dynamic range. A lot of when it's loud, and when it's quiet, it's not that loud. And I think that's also why, so many of, I know that that's also why so many of the series that we like so much, Breaking Bad and just shows on television, even you'll be watching them and it'll just be like, God damn it, you're turning it up because you can't hear them, and then they cut to another scene and it's, Jesus, turn it back down, because they're doing it for that dynamic range. They're listening to it on, high-quality speakers that you can hear the soft stuff and, the big stuff gets big and wide and not just big and concentrated. So when ours rolled, basically we blew everyone's heads off in a number of different ways, because all of these other films were shot, regular color format, somewhat darkly, and then our film comes on, and the whole thing about Bleak is that it's an anti-noir film. It's like the reverse of a noir. Instead of doing darks and shadows, we did, blown out, white, overexposed, ISO up kind of stuff. So it was all like whitewashed. So it cuts from someone's, black credits roll, stop, sit on black, to just, as brightly white as it can possibly be on the screen at the same time as our audio kicks up, way louder than anyone else's has been the whole time. It actually cleared my nasal cavities. I was sitting there watching it, and it hit me, and I went, oh, wow, I can breathe. That's nice. Germacian cheering 5. The set dBs for the audio system of a theater is 85 decibels, says Germacian. Okay. Yes, pawn is in my right now. What? Yes, pawn is in my right now. What, did you flip the video? No, I'm on the... What side am I on? Play it again. Burn the retinas out. Yeah, so that was cool. But the best thing that came out of this little weekend excursion was that we worked. We worked while we were there. I mean, more than anything, he and I just talked about the projects that we'd been talking about already. We worked out a seasonal arc for a project that is the thing that I'm most excited over right now. We're working on, we'll be shooting the current project that's been in pre-production for 3 or 4 months, but I'm at that point with that pre-production and with that thing that I'm excited about the next thing more than I'm excited about working on the thing that we're on. So we worked out the season arc for that show, and we came up with a completely different idea. We ended up, between the time of checking out of the hotel at 10:30 or whatever in the AM, which was not good for me at all. CFS, I am not travelable. I can't travel with this chronic fatigue syndrome and not get a good night's sleep and not be able to just sleep until I need to sleep. I was destroyed all the next day. And yeah, some of it was the hangover, but some of it was also just, I can't do that. I can't. If I need to sleep until 2 p.m., I need to sleep until 2 p.m., goddammit. There's no fighting that. But in that space of time between getting out of the hotel room and showing up here, we just found a park, public park in Maumee, next to a school with several baseball diamonds, and we just went and sat in the shade and just talked and enjoyed the weather. And what we were talking about was, it wasn't so much talking as it was crying from laughter as we were imagining something that we came up with on the spot that now has to happen. It's that fucking good. It's so horrible. It's so bad, but it's so good. Everyone is gonna fucking love this. It'll be huge. Yeah, right. They all will be, won't they? It'll be huge. Yeah, right. But, oh my God, I can't tell you anything about it, and I so desperately want to because it is so good, and I can't even hint at it because it's just so fucking excellent. But it doesn't take much to shoot it. We need a location. It could take much to shoot it because we need children. But I think we can get this one done a lot easier than the thing that we've been in pre-production on for all of these months so far. A lot easier. And that might be something that I'll be able to bring to a recent something that I keep hinting at that may or may not involve Harvey, HSC Gaming. I need to talk to him about it because it's on the edge of palatability for a lot of people. But yeah, that was Maumee. Friday and Saturday, going and seeing the films that we're showing there and critiquing them. The drive home was all just us sitting there saying, okay, what was good and what was awful? And there was a lot awful, and there was some good. It's really shocking to, I don't want to talk bad, but I am. It's really shocking to see how hard it is to find good actors. And that was not, all of the complaints that we had, but there were more, not good actors than there were good actors. In fact, I recognized while we were talking about it that the best actor was an actress who played a character that I'd completely forgotten about. And why did I forget? I realized the reason she's the best actress is that I forgot about her because she was so comfortable in front of the camera. She was so natural. Her character was just there, and then she was just there, you know? And everybody else was kind of just noticeably acting. Well, most, not all, but most of them were just noticeably acting. And it's striking to realize how apparently difficult it is to find people who can get in front of a camera and act without looking like they're acting. Because there's so many people who are interested in the field and who want to be in the field and stuff, and who, you know, study and practice and on stage and do shows and whatnot. And then you call them up and they'll send you headshots, professional fucking headshots. You're like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you definitely got the look. And then you get them in there with a script, and apparently it just all turns to shit. Apparently the hardest thing is to find actors who can act. Hashtag bring back the barn. But yeah, it was an experience to be had. It was very good to get out of the house and have what I considered to be a vacation. We did a little bit of mixing, but, you know, mixing for me is just being there, just showing up. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I'm not trying to convince anybody that we're the next, Matt and Trey, or whatever a more modern reference of that is. You know, Kevin Smith and, you know, the tall one who smokes all of the weed. I don't know, what's a modern reference? For a pair of writer-directors. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We had to leave at the end of our round because I was dead. You know, I barely made it through that first round. And I wasn't the only one either, because at one point a woman was taken from the bathroom, taken from the women's bathroom via an ambulance. So somebody was having a bad night. I scream, bad acting equals bad directing, Paul, says me, son. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe the problem is you don't have any directors. Yeah, it was, there were like two very good actresses, that I recall, like very good actresses. And then there were a handful of passable actors, and then there was whatever remained was people who it was like, please make me forget that you're acting. Please? Please? No, you're not doing it. Bad is bad. Some people just don't have it, says Jermacian. I know, but it's amazing how many of those people have headshots and credits and shit like that. Anyway, so that was Maomé. Is there anything else that I have to say about Maomé? You know, because I don't want to go insulting anybody. Worst company in America, 2014, Comcast. That's all I have to say about it. And the only thing that we could do at this point, other than, you know, actually load up a game and play it, I feel like what we should do before we get to the next live stream break. Oh, I saw the words web Sudoku evil. Oh, did I do that right? Yeah, you did that wrong. Let's play a little Sudoku! Huh? Let's play a round of Sudoku, people. Can we see the short, says Random Aim. Oh, I've shown it so many times. I can show it. RMAJ says yes as well. Okay. I'll show you the short, and then we'll end on some Sudoku. So the short, by the way, is searchable by, let's see, if we go to youtube.com, and then we go to Bleak, and Fry, because that's Brandon's last name. Hey, there's a guy. The hair is real. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present for your edification and amusement, Bleak, the 2018 short film official selection for the Sioux Film Festival in Sault Ste. Marie, as well as the Maumee Film Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bleak. If it'll work. I got a hard drive that's kind of slowing things down lately. A bird hasn't flown in 2 years. Some airborne virus, they said. Last time I had a television, no fewer than 13 countries were waging civil wars. It got quieter without a TV, or the internet. It didn't feel any simpler, though. The collective mood had shifted. Now, cars remain parked and everyone carries a switchblade. I'm almost 40 years old. No one trusts the tap water, and a trip to Mars isn't happening anytime soon. Nestle has a stranglehold on everyone. I met a woman in a parking lot. More a girl, I guess. She was no older than 25, her jet black hair laced with blotches of purple that showed little concern for symmetry. This never happens. I'm imagining all of it. She had a flat tire and I had a tire iron. She was so nervous. No one talks to anyone anymore. Civilization of hunchbacks interacting digitally. The walls have grown so high. I'd helped her. She had her phone pointed at me the whole time, live streaming just in case something bad happened. It'd be easier for the police to identify me. Maybe they'd find her before she'd drawn her last breath. She thanked me awkwardly, and for reasons I can't understand, I asked if she liked Mexican food. I knew a place nearby. So, what do you do? Hey. Something else. I like your phone. I've always gotta be stupid, don't I? What do you say to girls? What do you say to girls? Do you have cats? It would be nice to lay with a woman. Just to lay with her. The half-crescent moons of our bodies pressed against one another, fingers intertwined, forming some new superhuman hand. Not just fucking. That's all it is anymore. A reduction to the absolute minimum. Pleasure and survival. Despite the bombs and the banks and the dying populations of humans, animals, and plant life, it'd be nice to hear someone laugh at my jokes. No one jokes anymore. They just fuck and pop pills. Any day now, they say. I can't be the only one laughing about it all. Maybe the world could spin long enough to welcome a child. A girl with auburn hair and her father's eyes. If I calm myself, if I block everything else out, there are glimpses of swing sets, chalk-lined hopscotch blocks on the sidewalk, laughter and chocolate vanilla twists and lullabies. The bombs are coming. The neighborhoods will turn savage as we fight for the last remaining drops of clean water. The tears and screams will overtake the last bits of decency and kindness we have left. But until then, Bleak, ladies and gentlemen, our 2018 short film winner of nothing as of yet. Nothing's won. None of the winners have come down, just the selections, and it is an honor to be selected to the so and so forth. I'd like to thank the people who are smaller than me and don't really matter, because it's what you have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, web Sudoku me's and stuff. Well done, and claps, says RMAJ. Thank you. That whole sequence of, I shouldn't be the one saying this, but apparently, it's something that when Brandon tells people, they're like, really? The whole sequence of me talking to myself and trying to imagine what you say to girls, that was all, off the cuff. That was not written. Literally, Brandon said to me, okay, so talk to yourself, and try and figure out what you're going to say to her when you get on the date. And that was the perfect thing for him to do to me as an actor, he as a director, because it puts me on the spot. Exactly the same way that you would be on the spot trying to think of like what you would say to the girl. So, yeah, it just all improv. And that last line about the cat, you know, do you have cats, was inspired by the fact that my cat was standing on the edge of a chair. And as I'm standing there trying to think of what do I say, you know, what do you say to girls? Cat jumps down. Do you have cats? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So when does DC Studios hire you to make their dark films less dark? You needed a boom mic, but yeah, says RMAJ. We actually have like a collection of mics, but that was for us, that was just a one-day shoot idea. He'd written a you know, script that captured a certain essence. I'll leave it to you to, you know, find your own meaning, if there's any meaning to be found for you in that, other than, oh, there's a thing that I watched. But so he had a script for like the voiceover, but other than that, it was one of our little one-day shoot projects we like to do, where we just show up with the camera and just go at it, you know, absolute guerrilla filmmaker style, and just boom, 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 boom. So we got lots of mics at our disposal, and that was the only scene where we were going to use a mic, and we just didn't, because, you know, it's all, you know, it was, so much of it was handheld. There were a couple of, you know, shots where it was on the tripod there, but it was all part of like the feel and the vibe of it, was that it's rough and it's, and you hear the in the background in a way that you won't in the things that we are shooting presently and that will be coming out in that project that may or may not involve someone from who I'm not allowed to mention. NDA. I'm not under an NDA. That part about it would be nice to lay with a woman, hit me hard, says RMAJ. Well, all I can say to that is in 3, 2, 1, go! So we're looking at the ones. 1 and 1, and that means there's going to be a 1 in one of those two, and then a 1 and a 1 coming up here means that there's going to be a 1 somewhere in there. The 1 coming up like that and across like that means that it's going to be one of those two, which means that we're going to have 1 right there, which means that's a 1. Okay, so with those, we still can't do anything. On to the 2s. 2's going up, this is 2 like that, and then a 2 like that means that we're going to have the 2 is going to be in one of these, so that means that the 2 over here has to be right there. Now we've got a 2 in that direction, 2 coming straight down like that, and then across like that means we got a 2 here. So a 2 and a 2 means that you got to be in one of these 2 slots, and you can be in either. 2 coming straight up, we already did that one, but across like here, and then across like there, means that that's your 2, which means that it's got to be somewhere along here, so it's going to be one of those 2s. And because we got that 2, that makes you the 2, and that makes you the 1, which makes you the 1. And then Neo arrives because he's the real 1. And then these 2s, fuck them, 3s. We're going on to 3s. 3 coming straight down and across there means that one of those 2 spots would have to be the 3. 3, we've got all the ones across the top. 3 and 3 means that there's going to be a 3 in one of these as well, which means, well, we already knew the 3 was there. This 3 and this 3 means that you're the 3, and that gives me 3 and 3 across like that, so it's going to be one of you, and onto the 4s. 4 and 4 means that's a 4. 4, your mom's a 4 down like that means there's your 4, and there's a 3, which means there's a 3, which means there's a 3. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of 3s that we just got out of the 4s. So 4, 4, 4, 4 across like so means it leaves these 2 as possibles, but because of that one, it can only be there. 4 and 4 means then it got to be there. And then this means that I put a 4 there that shouldn't have been there. Shit, did I fuck everything up? How am I doing? Okay, we're still okay. We're on track. 4 across like that and 4 up like that. Oh, well, there's already a 4 there. I was going to say. Yeah, I just broke Sudoku somehow. The 4 and the 4 there means that there's got to be a 4 somewhere here, and there it is. It's all the 4s. Down to the 5s. 5 across like that means you're a 5. Not a 45, but a 5. 5... 5 across like that means there's going to be a 5 in one of these 2. It could be either as of now. 5 here coming up and there means that's a 5. 5 going across doesn't help me in the slightest. 5 like this and 5 like this means, aha, the 5 is going to be in one of those 2, which means the 5 is going to be in one of these 2 as well. 5 across like so means that you're the 5, which means that you're the 5, which does not help me there, but it does get us that 5, and now we're on to the 6s. 6 and 6 means that the 6 is in one of these 2 slots, and it can be in either of these 2 slots until we look up here, in which case it can be in either of those 2 slots as well, I think. So then 6 here coming across like so means that you would have to be the 6, which means that you would have to be the 6, which means that you would have to be the 6, which means that you would have to be the 6, which means that you would have to be the 6, and we reverse engineered the 6s. Is that all of them? It's not. 6 across like that, and then here means you're the 6, making you the 2, making you the 2. And are we on to the 7s? I'm going to go to them anyway. 7s, that means one of you two has to be a 7. You're going to be the 7, so you're going to be the 5, which means you're going to be the 5. Still doing 7s here. Do you need a 7? You don't. I'm not even going to break them down. 7s and 7s, you're going to need a 7 there. 7 coming across like that. You've already got a 7 there, which means you're a 7. So 7 and 7 means you're a 7. Is that all the 7s? It is. That means you're going to be a 9. You're going to be a 9. You're going to be an 8. You're going to be an 8. And what have we got left here? Shit, I hate it when I get to this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's an 8 and a 9 going on here. So that's the 9 and that's the 8 because of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, it's an 8 and a 9 scenario. And there's a 9 there, so you'd be the 8 and you'd be the 9 and you'd be the 8. And how am I doing? 4 minutes and 0 seconds with the Ronin Bone. Oh, and that's my fastest time? Hells yeah! My fastest time since we started playing Sudoku again. Apparently my fastest is actually 3:14 from the last time that I used to be playing this, but 4 on a live stream. Well, I'm explaining what I'm doing, kind of. Yeah, 4 minutes. New high score. What's new high score mean? What does new high score mean? What's that? What is... Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to take another live stream break because we've been here for another hour doing a live stream. When we come back, I don't know what we're going to do because we talked about this. Was there something else I wrote down about here? Twitch deprecates communities for tags. Not really. No, okay, we'll cover that now. Twitch apparently deprecated communities for tags. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like it, actually. Used to be when you started out a live stream, you could search for like which communities you were going to broadcast to. And, you know, if I was doing like XCOM, then I'd broadcast to the strategy and to the XCOM community. And, you know, anybody could make a community. And now I'm not getting that option in Twitch before I start the live stream. Instead, I'm getting the option for tags, and the tags are all curated tags. They're not just make your own tags up. So it's actually making my job a little bit easier. It means I'm not as specific, I guess. I can't get quite as specific, but I don't mind it. Makes my job easier. It never got, you know, maybe there is a benefit to the communities that I'm not seeing, but I honestly don't care. I'm not big enough to give a shit. Yeah, when we come back, I'm out of things to talk about. Drugs for NRA. No, I'm out of things to talk about. We'll be back. And we'll find out what we're doing. We might actually be playing a proper game on this live stream. What's that like? It's been so many since we have. Back in 7 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Well, feel free to pee or get a snack, but come back. Pawn not out.
Rainbow waiting by my window. Rainbow singing at my door. And the Georgia pines and dandelions are bobbing in the careless summer breeze. Sunshine skipping on the sidewalk. Sunshine not as bright as you. When you shattered free, you blinded me, and now I'm seeing stars around my head. And it's all I know. You're the afterglow that never fades. Tadpole squiggle in the water. Tadpole dancing toward the light. From a pollywog into a frog in 20 seconds flat. Well, how about that? Mayfly skimming on the water. Mayfly only for the day. And if love is just a fleeting whim, then why is it you never dimmed away? And it's all never fades. After all these years of living in your shadow, my love shining like the sun. But I never try to close my eyes. I never want to hide you in the dark. Oh, and it's all I know. You're the afterglow that never fades. Oh, and it's all I know. You're the afterglow. So just take it slow until the sun falls low. Then light me up.
Hello, I am the Ronan Pawn, and welcome back to a twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn livestream on twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn. Thank you, Zorglob, for the midstream break cheer. Ronan Pawn, have you peaked at 7 billion yet, says Dendy. I have, in fact, peaked at the 7 billions. I suppose that is a thing that we could launch into at the end of this live stream. I just hate to bury, new content like that under something like this. Something like what we've just done. Comcast thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, and then I bring that forward. But if I can't think of anything else to do, because, God, I, had some topics of discussion. Oh, what about Netflix? Huh? Let's do some Netflix recommend. What have you guys been watching on Netflix? Seriously, I did want to talk about Bleach. Have you seen Netflix has a live-action Bleach movie now? Are you familiar with Bleach the anime? First off, let's have that discussion. Should we have that discussion? Should we have that discussion over in a browser window so that I feel a little bit better, being a small head in the bottom of a thing? What? What are those? Apparently that's what happens when I press 8. And it sounds, okay, whatever. I have seen that, says Major. No, says Zorglob. Bleach, live action. Live action. On the net. No, don't. We don't need to watch a trailer or nothing, but if you got any stills over here, hey, that's small. Why has it got to be so small? Give me something that I can torrent and steal and then print my... What was that? What popped up at the bottom there? A woman in pink just looked at me. Bleach, live action. All right, yeah, take me back to here because this sucks. Images. Bleach live action. There you go. You familiar with the Bleaches? Bleach anime, okay? It's one of those series that has 7,000 episodes of it. When I was into anime back in the day, I watched 6,000 of them or so. I watched a lot of Bleach back in the day. It was a very involving sort of a show. It was, in that, it wasn't in the style of, but it had the effect on me as a viewer that Rumiko Takahashi properties usually have, like Inuyasha and Ranma Half, where you start watching it and you just can't stop because you're waiting for like two characters, usually a romantic interest. Just, when are they going to get together? Oh, just get together. Oh, please, will you get together? And they just dangle. Rumiko Takahashi is a whore. Takahashi Rumiko. I hate her, and I have consumed a lot of her properties because she does the art form so well of just getting you on the line and then being like, I know you want them to get together. We're all waiting. We know it's going to happen, but is it going to happen this time? Nope. Is it going to happen this time? Nope. Shipping, says RMAJ. Absolutely. Master of shipping, lord of it, Takahashi Rumiko. But Bleach was one that I watched an awful lot of, and it's been so long that I kind of forgot the plot movements of it, but I'll tell you this, the Bleach live-action movie is in a class of not actually that bad. The anime live-action movies that come out tend to be actually that bad, and Bleach was not actually that bad. They managed to cram, an entire season or two's worth of episodes into it without it feeling like they were doing that. And it was definitely more than just a, hey, here's some live-action actors in wigs. We've done some cosplaying on 35mm film. Have a look. It actually had a story to it, which is something I can say, differently than what I would have said about the Full Metal Alchemist live-action movie that came out, which, as a fan of Full Metal Alchemist, I enjoyed, but while watching, recognized that if this is supposed to stand on its own as a film, no, it does not. It does not. The giant gaps in the who's this person that come up and go away in FMA like hey, Cool Cat Terry, thank you for the host. Welcome to the live stream of ridiculousness, Cool Cat Terry. You've shown up for a weird one. We've landed on talking about Bleach, the live-action movie, and Netflix recommendations because I'm just out of content. No, but I actually recommend Bleach, the live-action movie. It was all right. It was good. In the final scenes, it did what it was trying to do. It conveyed what it was trying to do, but it did start to, fall apart. But honestly, the more that I see modern movies, they all seem to fall apart at the end. It's like they blew their budget, like it's just a uniform thing now that nobody's thinking about it. You kind of blow your budget on filming the first half of the film, and then the last half is just a scrimp and a save. And usually the ends of films these days have a whole bunch of special effects and 3D and stuff like that. So I'm sure the money gets spent on that, but then you just kind of like cram all the bits and pieces together, and the character development gets lost in the relationships, and it's not as deep or as meaningful as it should be, and just kind of, I don't know why, but they just get in and get out. They just get in and... I'm too old to know what that is, says Zorglob. The bleach? You're never too old for a little bit of bleach. Just pull it out from under the cupboards, and it's like a Tide Pod. You kids know what to do with that. Just don't. Just smack both of your penises already. My God, I'm tortured by future. What? Who has penises that? Oh, you're gonna. There's two people getting ready to dock. Or Death Note, says RMAJ. Okay, so I heard about the modern live action Death Note movie, and I heard that it was bad. But I'll tell you what, there were 2 live action Death Note movies like a decade ago, something like that. And my mom actually got really into Death Note when I was watching it. 200 hours of footage for a 1 hour long film, says Germasian. Which one? Who? What? My mom got into Death Note, and I brought it to her because I thought she would, because it's just her kind of thing, you know, suspense and mystery, and who's going to get the one up on who, and how you're going to back yourself out of this corner, and she got into Death Note. We ended up watching Death Note and anime, my mother and I, in full, and then I found that they had made a live-action movie, and I torrented it. This was back before I gave up torrenting just whatever I wanted, you know. Nowadays, I only torrent things that people deserve. Like, I want it, but you don't deserve to be paid for it. So yeah, I torrented the first one, and we watched that, and it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, if I recall correctly, because I feel like the second movie wrapped it up, and the second movie actually was playing in a local theater. It had been released, and it had come to America, and they were doing one of those, we're going to run this movie that probably no one's going to go to, we're going to run it like twice, or maybe once, at the end of the night at 10 p.m. at a local theater, and I was like, you want to go to that? And she's like, hell yeah, I want to go to that. So we got to watch the second live-action movie live in theaters. See, I paid for half of it. For 2 of us, in fact. And we went and watched the second one, and they did that really well. The Death Note live-action stuff. The 2 movies that before the modern remake, whatever that was, because I didn't see it, because I didn't need to, because I saw the first ones and they were fine. What they did especially great in that one is that Death Note ends a certain way. The first season of Death Note ends a certain way, and there's a second season, which isn't as good as the first, but it's still pretty good. Well, it's still alright. Those 2 movies just covered the first season, and they ended it differently than the anime that I just watched did, and it was a good ending. It was, you know, I'm not saying it was the good ending, like the good guy one or anything like that. I'm just saying it was a good ending that did not disappoint me, having watched the previous one and have been very attached to these characters and all that kind of stuff. They went with a completely different ending to it, and it was like, awesome, thank you. That is just as satisfying an ending as the other, and congratulations as filmmakers that you found that, and writers especially. Awesome, I love hearing you talk. Oh, cool cat, Terry. Yeah, just go ahead and pull up the covers and put your head down on the pillow. I'll talk you to sleep. I know what you mean. Pawn, it's because every movie now is shot for a sequel, says RMAJ. Yeah, that's true. I have to say, the CG for the hollows for the movie looks amazing. The hollows? The hollows in Bleach here? The hollows are the they're the evil souls. They're the souls that didn't make it onto heaven and haven't quite passed on to hell yet, but they ain't good fellas. They definitely have chosen a side. Yeah, the CG was good in this movie. The actors were good. They managed to like cram in a lot of the character development for the sake of it being, you know, a movie that has a certain runtime that's trying to take the place of a series that went on for hundreds of them. And they got through a large number of plot points without making you feel like they skipped too much. You know, you got the feeling like there was more to be done there, because there was, and they did it in the anime, but they got it all onto film. I recommend the Bleach live-action film, if you were a fan of Bleach, and if you weren't, and you like Japanese, you like reading subtitles, I don't know. It's a movie that stands on its own. It can be enjoyable whether or not you have a familiarity with the original content, although that will help. In terms of other, A Soul of the Lost Undead. In other things on Netflix that I've seen recently that I highly recommend, have you heard of Ted Danson? And I don't know her name, but my God, why do they all the good ones have to be married? Ted Danson's project, along with this, just I love her. I love her as an actress, and her character on the show doesn't hurt nothing either. It's The Good Place. Have you heard of The Good Place? Any talk about The Good Place? Because I don't feel like I've heard anybody talking about it, and it's really good, and I'm very surprised that people aren't chatting about it well, maybe it's just because I live in a cave. But, some things get back to me, and it hasn't gotten back to me at all, anyone watching The Good Place. It's really good. You should watch The Good Place. It's good. I recommend. I'm just hitting the keys here to make words. That's all I'm doing with my lips here, too. The Good Place. Can we do that? The Good Place. Roar. Yes. Her. Whoever she is. I've looked at Kristen Bell. I looked her name up sometimes. A.K.A. Matthew, a.k.a. Smurfette. See, I know things about her, but I can't remember her goddamn name. And Ted Danson, of all, I was so happy to see Ted Danson in a role that suits him. Ted Danson, on the heels of Cheers, just, where the hell was he gonna go? It's one of those situations. If you're Seinfeld and Seinfeld's over, if you're Kramer and Seinfeld's over, you have to just disappear from the industry for the better part of a decade. Because people identify you so much with that character, you gotta let them get space. They're not gonna accept you in anything else. It's not gonna feel right. They're gonna be uncomfortable watching you. And Ted Danson went on to do a number of films that really felt like, this is not you, man. Even if I take away the, character that I've known you in as the bartender on Cheers, this cowboy against Whoopi Goldberg, it's just not working for you. Just wasn't. And then this thing comes out, and it's fucking beautiful. It's a project it's a role built for him. And he delivered it so well. Pawn just tongue effing the keyboard. Basically, I watched a movie on Netflix called Next Gen, ended up being pretty damn good in my opinion. I think I've heard talk of that, and I haven't heard any talk of this. The Good Place. Check it out. It's good. It's good, and it's got a twist that you probably won't see coming, and then it's good. And they keep going with the seasons, and they find a way. Once you think they've backed themselves into a corner on the plot, you can't go any further than this. I guess they must be wrapping up. There's not going to be any more episodes. And then they find a way to stretch it back out and get more plot out of it, and just the writing, and it's very good. And I absolutely love Kristen Bell and her character on that show of just being she's a bro. She is absolutely a bro. That's her character. Okay, RMAJ. Okay, so those are my recommends from Netflix, and now we're out of things to talk about again. Shit. What else did I watch on Netflix recently? Apparently nothing that, really stuck with me. This is good, The Good Place. Check it out. They've also got the IT Crowd, and you haven't seen that, then you're doing something wrong with your life. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I hate the idea of popping open 7 billion humans at the end of this live stream. Where are you? There you are, because it needs its own live stream, and it's going to have its own live stream. And as a matter of fact, if I can just find it in my directories here, it was going to be the live stream on Friday, and then the stuff about Roll20 came up, and I just had a really fun and funny idea for that, and it seemed to be so dead on balls accurate as to just the state of customer care, customer services, and how Reddit just generally works. I think the reason why the whole Roll20 conspiracy, where a guy, got banned from Reddit because his name looked like someone else's name, and then the company didn't respond in an appropriate amount of time, and he eventually just said, well, screw you guys, I'm not going to be a customer anymore after 5 years of being a customer. I think the reason that really resonated with people and resonated with me, and I wanted to make content about it, is because so many of us have had that experience on Reddit, where people just ban you like it don't mean a thing. You come in and you say something that's critical, and it's just, I think we're all really pissed off that the internet is not what it was and what it's advertised as, which is an open forum. All of these platforms have turned into a not really open forum, and Reddit is a huge one. There's no, everything is censorship on the internet now. When I first came to the internet, the whole, like, the big thing about it was, oh my God, everyone is just doing whatever they want here. Everybody's just out there with whatever it is that they like, and sometimes it's this really off-the-wall stuff that's just like their corner of the world that they're really into that no one else is, but you look at them and you go, you know, I'm excited that you're excited. Like, this is awesome. And then came the Viacoming of the internet, the commercialization of the internet, and everything turned into, you know, eBay and Walmart.com, and everything is trying to sell you something, and no one puts up a website that doesn't have a Google AdWords account on it that's trying to make money, or AdSense. And it just turned into like a commercial enterprise, and, you know, you can't post certain things on YouTube anymore, and if you do, they won't monetize them. And Reddit, you start saying things, you walk into public, you know, seemingly like, oh, Comcast, r/Comcast, okay, let's talk about Comcast here. And, you know, your comments are deleted and your account is banned as soon as you bring up what Comcast actually does and their actual business practices. You post the little graph that shows what Comcast and AT&T and Verizon did to Netflix in 2014, and you're done. You know, they take you off. But wait, you guys actually did that. You're now censoring just actual, like news. You're censoring the truth because you can. And you can. Because that's the world we live in now. It's, you know, unregulated, open markets, and, you know, Reddit sets it up, and there's forum administrators. You can do whatever you want with this. It's just a forum, and you can decide whether or not you're going to be about censorship or not. And it's just, it's disappointing how many have chosen the route of censorship and said, you know what, instead of, like, trying to be good people, there's my thumbnail for that when we finally get around to doing it. Instead of being good people and running our companies well and doing right by our customers, we're just going to censor everybody who says bad things about us and call that a business practice instead. It's because the majority is searching for personal benefit instead of personal growth. Everything these days is based on short-term success. Cool Cat Terry says, my husband used to work for Comcast. He hated it. Well, of course. As well he should have. And then Jamacing Ice Cream and Cluster Truck, maybe 3 levels. I haven't even loaded. I got that back on because I was like, why did I stop playing this? You know, I enjoyed it so much. I'll tell you what we could do. All right, I'm not up for Cluster Truck. That is an experience that challenges my chronic fatigue syndrome. But I'll tell you what we could do. Is we could close this live stream out with a bit of the old swindle. I think we could. And everybody's like, no, not the swindle. Nobody wanted the swindle. No, the swindle. One of my favorites on the controller, nonetheless. The Swindle, ladies and gentlemen. The game developed by whose name I used to know. Platformer. Yeah, nice little platformer about robbing people and just rogue-like. I hate saying the like after that, but that's what they call them. Rogue-like. Where you get in here and you start out the game and you don't have a double jumping, you don't have a this and you don't have a that, and eventually you have all of the things and you got all the skills and you can hack all of the bombs and whatnot. And we have $100,000 since the last time we played. We're going to wherever we're going, Casino Town. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking this character, whatever her name is, who will soon die. Almost certainly, to Casino Town. Is the audio a little bit loud for you? Let me know, because I've taken... You guys, as a default thing, have negative 7.5 decibels taken off of the background audio. For me, it's in there, though. Hold on, play 7 billion and see the significance of it. Please. I have seen it. I have played the first 9 levels to get just a sense of what they're doing, and we will do that on its own live stream, but I won't. Oh, in your own time, says Zendy. No, we're doing a live stream on it. I made a thumbnail, now we have to do it. Not wasting my own effort. Ella Pepperbridge has a successful heist and she got us $100,000 based on it. Welcome back to the Swindle. And if I recall correctly, I have a remote detonator and it goes like that. And then it blows people up. Now do you spit out gas or something? What's with you? No, I'm cool? Okay, I'm cool. So, the Swindle. All these different enemies appear over the course of the game, and it just gets harder and harder and harder, and you have to make enough money to buy the skills that allow you to play the game, and then you can do things like that. And take their own traps and use them against them. Mwahahahahaha. Okay, can I... Oh! There we go. Okay, am I gonna hurt myself if I do this? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, die. Yes! Yes, I love the swindle. You got cameras above you. If you get caught by any of their sight lines, you're just going down. Yeah, and you go by, and then you go by. You're dead, right? You're dead. Alright, let's go find ourselves some computers. I've got the little ticks on screen that tell me where the computers are in the level. Oh, shit. Are you coming all the way up? He's coming all the way up. I'm gonna go over here. Can I get you from this side? Yeah. I can if I do that. Okay. Oh, look out for the friggin' camera pawn. Camera's coming up at you. It's behind my head there. Right, okay, so I need to get down. Get up to get down, and then I need to get close enough to do that. I hope I didn't destroy anything important, because I really didn't look. Alright, there's some money for us. Our goal is to hack these computers. Just above my head and to the right of my head ever so slightly. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. See that glass ball? Yeah, Zappy. The Zappy glass ball. You gotta watch out for him. Oh, shit, and watch out for that, too. I kinda gotta get him before I walk underneath him, or else he'll zap me. That's how he works. So if you could just come down and be in a place where I could get you. There you go. 1 hit. 2 hit. Dead hit. Alright. Whew, get my bug ready. Because we're gonna hack this computer, but we're also gonna put a bug on it. Well, actually, get my remote det ready. And then first thing we'll do is say hello to my little friend! Thank God that didn't destroy the computer. I forgot that that might be a thing. Alright, camera passes overhead. I get up here, and we'll put the bug down first in case I screw everything up. So we put a bug on it, and that's going to siphon funds out of the computer slowly but surely as we press left, and then down, and then left again, in order to hack it for 11,565. And if you check my bank up in the corner there, you'll see the funds coming in from the bug that we just planted. Hey! Thank you. And you! Close the door again. You gotta move. You gotta stick, you gotta move. I'm gonna— oh, shoot! Shouldn't have done that. Definitely shouldn't have done that. Close the door! No, not with me inside it. So that's the kind of thing that'll happen if you do wrong. If you fuck it up. And then that person is dead. Ella Pepperbridge is deceased. She is no more. She is pushing up the daisies. She has joined the choir invisible. She is an ex-thief! Let's just go to another heist. However, the money that she was carrying on her is lost. But the money that was being siphoned into my bank account is still being siphoned into my bank account by the thing that I left there. I didn't catch what your name is. It doesn't matter. You'll be dead soon anyway. Back in. Up. Down. Down again. Okay. So just watch out for all of the things, Pawn. Yeah. Oh, shit. He was listening. He heard my footstep, and then he just kind of came for me, and he blew up. He went and blew up is what happened there. Oh, look out! Look out! No, don't be coming down here now. I was coming over here so I could zap some people. I'll wait for them to come over, the fellas who have TNT strapped to their chests, and yeah, 3 for 1. Now here's a bit of a problem. That little worm there to my right. If I jump on him, those spikes, those kitchen knives coming out of his back, will go straight into, well, my podiatrist won't like me. So I can't jump there anymore, and I did that to me. Let's go find them computers, and let's put another oh, shit! He heard me. Yeah, there you go. Whole new set of problems in Casino Town. They're actually listening for me now. Son of a bitch. Okay, watch out for that camera. We want to let it pass, and then we want to drop, and then we want to smack this guy. So camera passes. Shit. Camera passes. And then guy comes. He drops. He goes. I smack him. And then I get the fuck back out. And wait for the camera again. I got this. I got this. Camera passes. Down. Grab the money. Where can I go that's safe? Nowhere, Pawn. Ah! That's safe. Ish. Oh, shit. Okay, there's a floating shotgun rifle just sort of over there. He shoots on the diagonals. I don't gotta worry about him. Now, if I hold the... oh, shit. What button is it? I think it's this button. And then if I go around the edge, yeah, I stick to the edge. See, now this is what you want to do right here, Pawn. Oh, look out. Are you going to shoot me? Try not and shoot me. Thank you. Okay. See, now from this position, whack and dead. Thank you. And you, sir. Oh, you take 2 whacks, do you? There's your second whack for you. Now, if I hacked that computer because it's got the red and the lock on it, that would sound the alarm. So we don't want to be doing that now, do we? No, children, we don't. What we want to be doing is knocking you into the hole. That's safer for me. And we want to be finding the security room that will unlock all of the computers as well as shutting down the flying enemies and the cameras there. But it's a big goddamn level and I have no idea where that is as of yet. Okay. Going down. There's the security room. Found it. Alright, that was hard. Tricky. Oh! Alright, one dude just killed himself. Excellent. Thank you. One hit, two hit, red hit, blue hit? Don't take drugs, kids. I mean, the good ones are okay, though. Is it the frickin' Capitelli, is it? Dear baby Jesus Christ. Sure. He cam for you? No, that's on my other site. I don't do cams here. Okay, that was dangerous and not at all what I meant to do. There's a guy over there that I don't want to even deal with. Can I get my remote det in hand? And if I did, you know what's safer, Pawn? Watch. Drop down here, pop over there, stick to the wall, and smack him to death. And then pop that thing. There we go. And now we'll hack the security room, and that will make my job here a hell of a lot easier. Up! Up again! Left. I'm always looking for that 3 in a row. Left again! Left again! 3 in a row! And that's the sound of the men working on the chain. Yay. That's the sound of a lot of my problems going away. All at once. Hoorah. So, shall we go back up to the computer that I've already been to? Let's do. Yeah! Yeah! Ow. Okay, I didn't have any poof left. Give me my poof back. There we go. Up, up, up. Make sure you're still safe to move over here. And let's drop that bug, first off. Yeah. I'm having to remember what the controls are, even though I just used them. Up! Right! Left! $11,000 in my pocket, but I gotta get these pockets out of the building without getting this person killed, or else it was of no use to me. So, we see that there's a computer through that wall. Let's see if we can't get there by going down to start with. And breaking out all of the glass. The glass is annoying, it gets in my way. You die, glass. What's down here? A mine. It's mine! Oh, Jesus. Okay, we destroyed the mine. All of the floating things are down and not an issue for me. There's really no one down there that I really want to deal with, is there? No, there's no benefit to going down there? No money on the ground? No, nothing. So, what we need to do is find our way through into this room. If only we had bombs. If only we had bombs. And we do, but is there another way in? Because I'd hate to, misuse my bombs. I think I've only got 3 of them at this point in the game. If we go back up and over. Well, first off, if we wanted to go through, we'd go this way. Yeah, we'd go this... Oh, God. Oh, shit. It's very dangerous because that guy's there. It's very dangerous. Because if I jump on him, I'll die. And I'm jumping off of a stairs, and stairs sometimes does bad. And you might say, well, just do it over the security room there. Just plant a bomb in there. That'll set off the security. We don't want to do that. Let's go to the other computer that's apparently mainly above me. It's not that far, and then we'll deal with that last computer after I've already gotten all of the money, and then we can be really frustrated with the fact that I just died, which is how this game pretty much works all the time. Me up, up, up. Wait, take me down, down, down. Was there a way in from over here to that lower area? Yes, no. No, there isn't. All right. Up, 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 up. And what about you? Now I'm going to have to go on the roof to get to you, but I will do. Watch out for the guy with the spines on his back, Pawn. Will do. Yep! Okay. Gotta be careful about fall damage, too. If you take too much of a fall, you're just gonna, get shin splinters. And nobody wants that. Damn it. They've knocked me out from here. Where's the next computer? Said it was mostly right above. Alright, find another way in, Pawn. From the other side of the building. There'll surely be a place. Or not. Because this game don't give a shit about what you think it should surely be doing. Down. I have the remote det in hand? Now I do. Shit! Pop there, just to make sure I don't mess up my ankle. I don't want to tear an ACL, blow it out. Yes, here's another computer. And, you, sir. I like that you guys have such short, view lines. You can't even see me while I'm standing here, can you? You? Just looking for that spot where I can jump and just barely get him. Ah, come on. There you go. That all goes down. And I can't get you from here. I can get you from here, though. And then if I jump over this guy... Oh, shit. It's fine. He can, like, walk up to me. That's not a problem. The problem is... Ah, god damn it. I want to get him in... Yeah, see, he can walk right past me. No big deal. I want to have him moving to the right, because if you hit him while they're moving... Well, that worked out great, Pawn. Shut up. You don't know. Put the bug down. I'll be getting money even if I fail. Down! Left! Up! Up again! I was not expecting the fourth one. That doesn't happen often anyway. Okay. And then out of here. Last computer is that one that's down and to the left that we didn't know how to access. Maybe we can come at it from far away and go under or something. Sometimes the levels are laid out like that. All the levels are procedurally generated. So you do get the true rogue... Jesus Christ, it's deep. The true roguelike experience. Also, the deeper you go in, you have to bear in mind that you will have to, you know, come back out at some point, won't you? I'm going to hit onto there. Okay, and I should be able to easily... We'll do this. We'll grab that. Muns. We'll wait for him to turn, then we'll get over here. We'll just slide down a little bit. Tap. There you go. That's for you. And since it doesn't look like there's a way to get through, I could get through there. Yeah, screw it. Let's throw off a bomb. Just show these guys what, you know, what they're dealing with when they deal with me. Put a bomb on that wall. Lady with the mustache. I don't know what your thing is. I'm just trying not to be, you know, I don't want to identify gender if they don't want it identified. So, there you go. Up and up. And then you... I don't really need to kill you. There's no money over there, so I'll try and leave you where you are. Hit! Made it! Got it. Damn it. I would have liked you to fall off. But it's fine. Is this the computer? That's the computer I was looking for. This is the last place we need to go, so perfect time to screw things up and get killed. It really is, too. Stand here. And then whacky. And then everybody else come on over for your whacky attacky. Hi! Bye! Okay, let's go up here. Got this stuff. A little bit of money for me. I've also got a count of how much cash is still on the property. Now, I've run out of bugs, so I can't place another one. I'm just gonna, before I deal with that, I'm gonna go in the corner. Down! Right! Left! 97.17. There's still $2,446 worth of cash scattered about this place. I don't know where to find it, really. We'll have a look as we go to leave the building. Is there anything up here? Gotta be little, like, boxes and chests and safes that I've missed. Saves? Saves or safes? How do you say it? Over there and then down here. You don't have any money, right? Yeah, so I ain't risking my, you know, beautiful run on you. You guys let me know if you see any, you know, money sitting on the ground that I haven't picked up yet. Drugs are bad, red meat is bad, bread is bad, oxygen is bad, it will rust your fucking body, life is bad, look at Facebook. I can't disagree, I suppose. What are you doing? Get out of here! Both of you! And you. And then close the... No, don't hack the door, close the door. Oh. I can't... Okay, I can't. Pretty sure there's a guy out there. I remember him stumbling out of the building and never coming back. Screw him. Let me know if you see any safes, because I'm missing them as of right now. I'm missing, you know, 1 or 2 safes or something. There's money somewhere in this building that I haven't seen. Okay, every time that you do a little fart like that and you use your double jump, you have to refresh it by standing on, like, solid ground like this. So you gotta keep close eye, close watch. Up top there was 2, Sister Mason. Jesus, you've got an eye? Alright. Get me up there. See, I can't even get up there now. We're screwed, I can't go home. Can you go home another way? Or do I have to literally make that jump? Can I? Because you might not be. There is a triple jump you can buy, and it might be about time for it. Ah, there we go. I managed to hit it. Yes, there's money in here. Damn it. Okay, that means I gotta bomb my way in here as well. Yes, there's quite a bit of money in here. Alright, we'll come in from this side then. I mean, look at the graphics on this. The frickin' wind-swept backgrounds of, you know, London town, as they call it. Don't they call it that? I think they call it that. You plant a bomb. And we'll blow open these blast doors so that I can get in. Bang! Still gotta break the glass. You know, bombs, they're good against concrete and shit, but glass, that's a tough one. If I go over the edge and then slide down, just carefully, cautiously, bam, you're dead. That guy doesn't come over here anywhere near, so the big thing is to try and get... No, I didn't want you there, son of a bitch. Alright. Alright, I wanted to knock him into the hole, because now he's in a place where I might fall on him, you know? Make sure you've recharged your fart ability, because you're going to need your fart ability for this jump. Yep! Yep, there we go. Got my fart. And property cash is down to 0. You, sir, get to live. Congratulations. Have a nice day. I'm leaving. We did it. I just robbed the whole damn place. I got every single dime that they had, and that means an extra double bonus for me being such a good thief. Just so no one knows anything that happened here. Shit, I can't close the door. Maybe this will shake it free. Just so no one knows that anything bad happened here. I think that worked. And we run away with all of the money, 100% of the cash stolen, 81 days remain. What is the countdown to, Pawn, if we've never seen this game before? The countdown is, at the beginning of the game, you have 100 days to thieve your way into the inner sanctum of Scotland Yard. And because they're creating some kind of device that's going to make it impossible for thieves to thieve from now on. So you got to get there and steal the unstealable thing that's going to make it so that nothing can be stolen. As premises go, it's loose. I like it. It's good. It gives you what this game does well and that good roguelikes do is they give you a beginning and they give you an end. They tell you where you're going, how long it's going to take to get there, that kind of stuff. It's important that you communicate to the player, especially in a roguelike, this is the end. This is what you're going for. We're talking about ideologies now? It's not a doom scenario, it's just really, really bad, okay? How did my soul end up in the everything is bad? I'm sure I checked off that box that says I don't want. Because the biggest part of humanity still believes in an ideology. Yeah, I didn't sing up for that reality. Don't sing up for any of it. Let's go back to the airship, because now I have $168,000. Pounds is what they are. Surprised that the GBP lasted this long, considering Brexit. Oh! Wall jumping, stick to slippery surfaces like windows. Wall jumping, grabbing walls resets any double jump abilities, allowing you to jaunt through air like spring-heeled Jack himself. So that would mean that you'd always have, if you're on a wall, don't worry, you've got all of your double jumps. Yes. Whereas this one is just a straight-up second double jump, and there's a third double jump, so it'd be a triple and a quadruple jump is what it would turn into. Before we go on to that, hack skill allows thieves to reactivate downed roads, forcing them to target any nearby enemies. I love that skill. I know it just cost me 100,000. There might be something a lot better that I should have gotten first. For example, siphoning extra funds from infiltrated computers, because that's just stacking me up more moolah. So, really should get that too. I'm being flippant about what things I'm purchasing here. I could get hack speed too, which allows me to do it a little bit faster. I might do that as a convenience feature at this part of the game. Sticking to Windows, actually rather helpful. 18,000, I think more helpful, is not having to take quite as long to hack a thing. And I think I'll be able to get both of them. Oh, I can't buy hack speed 2 until the first one is? Oh, I said in the first thing, I think you can get them out of order, and it's just about the money. Well, if that's the way it's going to be, I'll take hack speed 1, and I'll take stick me to Windows, because it helps. You know, you don't need that triple jump as early if you can stick to Windows in a lot of situations. So, Desu, nay. Let's go, buddy. Back in there. I need more money. Did you catch that, chat? I didn't know. What? Sign up FAC. No, Fax AR hasn't... He only comes around occasionally. There's a fella in chat named... Okay. I 120% agree with you, man, but what now? Zen. Zen would be what you do at this point. That's what I would recommend going for. You know, if life sucks and it's all Reddit to you, well, you just need a little bit of Zen in your life, don't you? Okay, so this guy can hear me, so if I just sneak, ever so sneakily, if I were to sneak, and then if I were to do like this, okay, and then do like that, then he'll blow that camera up for me. Yeah. I don't want to hack to just open it. Right! Down! Hack speed has increased. What are you doing? Don't look at me. Don't look at me! Don't look at me! Okay. Where are you guys? Oh, God, there's a whole bunch of new things. Oh, but they're all trapped on his side of things. They won't bounce at me? Good. I'm fine with that. Where are the computers, Pawn? Find the computers and also find your remote debts, where you can, you know, get a better credit score or something. Remote debt? What is that about? Ooh, I actually did discover something. Come on, just at the bottom of the arc. Yeah, zap them all. I discovered something I'd never heard of before, but that is an excellent concept. Very cheaty, you know, bullshit concept, but excellent nonetheless. If you want to get a better credit score, there's a way to do that. You know, the companies online that tell you, oh, we'll buy it, we'll give us money and we'll get your credit score up. I found out how they do that. They take people like me, who have an incredibly good credit score, who want to sell their credit score. How do you sell your credit score, Pawn? Well, it's quite simple, actually. I would put you on my line of credit as someone who can use my card. And then for the month that you were on my credit would show up on your... It would show up as though you have that additional line of credit, and it increases your credit score drastically and permanently just to be on there for a month. So that's what they do. They find people with good credit scores, and then they hook them up with people who need an increase to their credit score and who are willing to pay for it. That's how it works. And I'm just thinking, why do I need a company in the mix here? Why don't I just sell my credit score to other people? Because the problem with me and my credit score is I don't have any money. So the credit score ain't worth a goddamn to me. You know, it's like, oh, your credit score is so good. How much money do you make? Oh, no, we can't give you a loan. For real, for shizzle. If I bomb my way in, and it looks like I need to, doesn't it? It sort of looks like you need to, Pawn. I'm gonna come in from the top, though. Oh, Jesus Christ, what happened? Oh, God, you destroyed a computer! The bomb thing that listens to me and then goes moving around on its own time just destroyed it. That's money for me! God damn it. You gotta be careful in these levels. I need to get the hack skill that makes it so they don't hear you as often. I'm coming down on this end of things. So give me a bomb here. And then, yeah, why don't you float over there a little bit more? Ah, your timing was off. You were late. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. There you go. Go over there. Go over to Valhalla. See how Thor's feeling. Right, I'm just gonna wait for you. You got a long view cone. You turn and you go, and then I come down and I smack it. There we go. We needed to get access to this security room. It's important. Whoa. Did you see that? For a second I made a link to something that I shouldn't have been able to make a link to. I like it. Over here. Hack me in. Down. Left. And then right. Up. Up. Left. Security station is now offline. That opens all of the sealed doors, so I don't have to open any of them, and, as I said before, kills all of the security cameras and knocks down all of the floating enemies. It's a good thing. Quoth Martha. She knows. You should listen to her. Okay, coming up here, just jumping over you for now, and then smacking you into the hole. God damn it. You're in a horrible place if I ever have to come up that hole again. In fact, you're in a horrible place right now. I gotta get over you, and I gotta, like, jump up there and either go for him, or I gotta go over you in one fell swoop, and not into the... I'm gonna go over you in one fell swoop. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it right. You spin, and then... Oh, thank God that he dies after one hit. I wasn't sure about that. Wow. Totally screwed myself over there. Computers to the down, and one to the up. Let's go to the up first. Oh, let's not go to the up first, because I don't have access to it. But it's up there. I go out to the... We'll go there later. Right now, I'm going down here, and then I gotta get past you, and I gotta deal with the guy who's on the side of the wall. What's below me even further? Two bastards with axes. Stop with the Zen shit, says RMAJ. That's what you need. You know, if people today in the world today and today is all you today, something something and all your worries and other things are gay. Wouldn't you like to eat some hay? I'm sure these are the lyrics. Sometimes you wanna go where I'm about to get seen and die. Shit. It was a specialized drop, but I got stuck on that wall for an extra little tick, and that's how the game goes. And I didn't even manage to put any bugs down in that facility, and another robber is dead. Don't even entertain the idea that you have knowledge that would counter the influence quantum physics would have if it would have gone regular. Wow, what are you talking? Quantum wouldn't be there. No person on Earth has any clue. What are you talking about? It's a computer simulation we've been uploaded to. Have you not seen the mate? Oh shit, the cops are coming. Quick, to another heist. 80 days remain. I think we've got at least one more heist in us. One successful. I don't want to, you know. Can I get you? Smack him through the wall. Maybe we don't go in this way. Maybe we go up and over this time. Need to get some more money, get some more skills, get some more drugs. Skills, I meant. Oh, there's a computer right in there. Alright, I'm going straight in the front door to start with. It'll be easy. I certainly won't die because I didn't make a jump right. That's not gonna happen. Not this time. Down! Left! Yeah, hit him. And then you as well. And then avoid the camera. And then you as well. And then go back and avoid the camera because it's in a not great spot for me right now. And then in. And then and then oh shit! God damn it! Oh! Oh no! Oh, the door locked. The door locked, and now, yeah, hit him. Oh, fucking hell. He's trapped in here with me. Come on, come here, bud. There you go. Oh, that's one hit. 2 hits. All right, I gotta get in there and get some. Oh shit, what was that? Oh, they're already here. They're already. All right, let them open the door, because they're cops, so they'll do it. You guys in? Okay. Give me my steam purge, and then drop down, and then over the heads of you, and then steam purge me, and then get back in the airship. And get the fuck out of here. I don't know why I even bothered. She didn't do anything for me, and we got no extra money out of it. I should just let her die. Alright, well, it's a successful heist, I say. Successful. Sometimes you wanna go where Zen and Zen and Zen, Zen, Zen. Okay, and. Damn it! Wrong timing. I missed the button. I actually confused which button it was. Oh, there's a floating dude over there, though. There we go. Make the sound. He blows up more of the wall, he kills one of the dudes, the camera bot starts floating somewhere that is less not inconvenient for me. That's a quadruple negative. You're welcome. Get my remote debt ready. I'm going down. Watch out for the camera. Okay, he's looking up for some stupid reason, so I'm going over. This guy's got a really long view, but he's also got a fairly long walk, and now he's just took a really long walk. Oh god, there's a camera up there. I didn't know about until just a second ago. Oh, shit. Hi. Oh, Jesus Christ. There you go. You're dead. Yeah, these levels, they don't get any easier. Ah, I missed him. Get out of the cameras for you. God damn it, missed him again. The game is, it's sticky. People complained, but they were wrong. It's sticky, it's just adds to the challenge of it. You gotta know your limitations, bro. Alright, so I'm going up and over, because under is not going to work out for me. I need that fireman bot killed first. So up and over. Oh, shit, that little thing's there. God damn it. Oh, there's one up there, too, that I should knock down. Okay. Yeah, camera passes. Don't tell me you're on the same timing. I can't have that. Now you stop, and that gives me a hole to do this, and I'm out of view. Okay. And you come back up. Smack you down. Those guys disobey the rules of most of the other enemies that you can't hit them through walls and doors and things. And that is excellent design. Game design, people. It's what it's about. This game is just good. Yeah, get in the hole there, Mr. Fireman. And I need to, like, grab the money from over there, because I don't want to be... Oh, shit! Oh, one little jump that was a bit too much. I can't leave without doing something. There's a thing in there. Okay, so break open the door. Left. Wait for him. He'll come back. Right. And then hit him twice. Boom, you're dead. And then that guy's looking around in a lot of different directions, but he's dead before before it's a problem. And then you, bug, drop the bug. Oh, God, that guy's... Fuck! You got her, but I got the bug down. I'm making money, I think. Did I make... I mean, she didn't do shit for us. She was just a horrible person. It was her fault, not mine. You saw what she did on the last one. She's got thick thighs, and they keep getting seen by the camera. I need a different thief. Open hiring again. Ralph McKitty. I've got good... Oh, God, you're... He's wearing a beard of bees. Oh, God, these hipsters. Alright, you... Open the door for me. Open... He doesn't hear me. Okay, fine. I've got a plan for you. No, that wasn't the plan. It was the wrong plan. I was gonna have you take down... Oh, but here comes another one. Alright, no, it's fine. There's a few of those around now, isn't there? There's a computer in there. It's unsecured. For Christ's sake, Pawn. Can you get through 2 rooms to 1 computer? And just put a bug down so you're making some goddamn money? I actually did get the bug down in the last one. I can see that now. On in, drop down, over here. Whoa! Okay, that door is still closed. Hit him twice, and then he's dead. Anybody else? Anything else in this room? It's such a busy visual design, too, which is also part of the game, that it's kind of... Your eyes sometimes hard to see who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. What I need to do here is I need to get up here and address you, and then I need to come from this side and drop down, and no, I gotta wait until he's moving left so I can knock him into the hole, is the deal. So you do that, and then, no. Yes, because if I would have knocked him down that way, then he'd be something I had to fall on, and if I would have done him here, then he'd be something I'd have to jump on later. So, bug in. I told you this guy was gonna work for us. You know, you need to trust my hiring practice. Down, and then up. Boom, hack speed. Nice little upgrade there. If I can find any floaters, then I can bring them back to life for me. I love that part of the game. I gotta show you guys that. You know, if you haven't seen it before, because you've watched me play the game before. If that isn't the case, what just happened? Well, somebody just killed themselves. Okay, get in here. And what do we got down here? Another computer, unsecured, nonetheless. That guy, he's electric. If you try and smack him while he's zapping, then you'll be the one to zap, be done, do. God damn it. We got the spiky dude that I can't fall on, and then we got the guy who I can't smack, and then the computer's over there. I mean, I could smack him, it's just gotta be at the right time, in the right place. Remote dead, I got Steam Purge. Maybe I'll use a Steam Purge just to cover my ass when I get over toward him. Just wait for him, Pawn. Wait for him, he's an easy one to jump at, he doesn't move too quick. Just gotta get the timing down. I ain't going for him now, because he's about to do the zappy thing again. There you go, you're electrified, and now you're not electrified, you're coming toward me, and... Hit! Oh, shit, okay, he's a 2-hit guy. He's a 2-hit guy. Oh god, that's tough. That is a tough little moment. And don't go for him, because he's about to go zappy again. Right. Right, this will be the... This is my moment now, though. Right here, and... In! Hit! Oh, shit! Shit! No! Double shit! No, you didn't see me! Fuck you! God damn it! With your... Steam Purge? Steam Purge? Get him! He's out of the way. And then remote dead. Oh, remote dead will blow up the computer. I can't do that. I gotta put a bug in, at least. I gotta get the bug in. I gotta get the hell out of here. There's a lot of things that need to happen. Boom. 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 There, you're gone. And then this... Christ, I gotta hack the friggin' mine so it doesn't blow up on me. Left, left. And then you. Up. Up. And then bug. Plant. And then we gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta come out the way we came. Out the way we came. Yeah. Oh, shit! God damn you with your hack it up. Down. Okay, you're offline. Just, yeah, hi, what are you gonna do? There you go, what do you want, huh? Unlock the door. Oh, don't unlock the door. They'll unlock it for you, Pawn. Did I use my Steam Purge? You didn't. Get your Steam Purge up. Okay. Unlock the door for me. Thank you. Thank you, bobbies. Okay, and down, and over, and hit the Steam Purge. And we're out. Alright. We'll call that successful. Right? The cat didn't agree. Anybody else hear a cat just fly by at a couple thousand miles per hour? Back to the airship with Ralphie McKitty. You did better than the last one, anyway. Just like to point out a furry porn server on Discord is less toxic than this community sometimes. Why would a furry porn server on Discord be toxic in the first place? Of course it is. That's just a warm, embracing, fuzzy kind of a place to be. We can't compete with that. Abilities. What could I get for next time that would make my life easier? Because, good God, I'm getting the... it's being handed to me. Whatever it is, it's being handed to me. Bomb count. More of those would be nice, but we haven't needed them. That hasn't been my problem. Wider radius on the bomb. Rig speed. No. Steam purge duration. 6 seconds of cover. Also not our problem here. Steam purge recharging is nice. It comes back a lot faster. Ooh, remote detonate from a distance. Very helpful. Local EMP, also very helpful. Ooh. We've only got 90, a little less than 90, which means I can get the remote detonate that allows me to zap them from like 6 blocks away instead of 3, or the local EMP could be really helpful. Bot confuse is dangerous, actually. You can confuse the bots and then they start doing things and it just doesn't work out. Show noise, security level. Security locator would be nice to have, but it's an afterthought. What about you? Slow the police down when they come. That's an afterthought as well. Scrapyard. Thieves with higher XP in districts with the higher security clearance will see higher returns. This is you attack bots and you get money for every bot that you killed as well. It's an afterthought though. Pod will cloud your 3 from view long enough to make a safe retreat. That's again, no, afterthought. Yeah, for my money right now, remote detonate or local EMP. Local EMP allows you to like zap guys through walls and and it's cheap and I could get a bunch of other stuff or remote detonate from a distance. Hack speeds. Not hack speed. Who cares about hack speed? I got out that last time. I hacked it. Made my way out. That takes everything. Give me local EMP. And then because I just chose to take local EMP, I will also get the security center locator so that I'll know where that is on the levels. Now we're down to 45,000. I will have the first level of police interference, which will slow them down from coming. Scrapyard, maybe after I pick up advanced recharging. It's so nice to get that, get it back in a hurry, to get your little cloud of steam back in a hurry. Yeah. Recharge speed on the purge comes in, and then can I still afford... What was it? Nothing? Whatever it was, I can't afford it anymore. I don't see it there. Could have the bomb rig speed, but it's not an issue either. I mean, it can be, but it hasn't been yet. Yeah. That's our spends, and it's time to do another thing, but we've come to the end of the live stream. And next live stream, I promise, will actually be a, game-centric live stream. I shouldn't make a promise. If I make a promise, that means it's going to be exactly the opposite, isn't it? That's how that usually works for us. Next live stream, what do you guys think? It'll either be XCOM, because we got to get back to that, it's been a minute, or we'll take a look at 7 Billion Humans, which has some very, very fun and wry things to do with... it's got at least one joke about modern politics in there. And it's going to be a fun little programming game. Absolutely. And 7 Billion Humans, that company, is it the Tomorrow Corporation that does 7 Billion Humans and the one before it, which was the other one? They have a very skillful hand in bringing programming to people who don't do programming in a way that makes sense visually, using mechanics where it's not, the way that TIS 100 or Exapunks is, that you're actually like coding assembly into something. You're just working with, drop-down menus and things that really, it makes it accessible for a lot of different people. It'll be one of those two things at our next live stream, and our next live stream will be this Wednesday. God, it's so weird to take a day off and go do that thing. I was half on the... I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not to ask you guys if it's okay if I take another day off, if I take a week off. Can I have a month? What's going to be happening the rest of this week? So imagine this is my week. I get chronic fatigue syndrome in the course of a year. I will do my grocery shopping 13 times because I just stretch it to the very end because I don't want to leave the house because it's hard. So here's what's happening over the course of the next couple of weeks and what's just been happening. We drove to Ohio. We stayed overnight. I had to wake up after being hungover, and get out of the hotel room well before my body wanted me to. And then we were up wandering around Maumee, and then we were in the car on a car ride home, and then we came back here. So big trip takes it out of me. Then, live stream today, whatever, it's still live stream, but I gotta get all worked up and act like I give a shit about Comcast taking over the world, so that's a thing. Then, tomorrow, Brandon and I are getting together to do the first shoot, Brandon and I and the crew, because it's a, organized thing. We're all getting together to do the first shoot on the current project we're working on tomorrow, which includes me making sure I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I need to take over when I go. And then, Tuesday is, proper day off from the live streams. Wednesday, we'd be doing the live stream again. Thursday, Friday is the first official shoot for, it's the second shoot in this project, but it's the first shoot for the main body of work. And we're supposed to do a live stream that day, and we just took last Friday off. I don't know, what to do about that, because, I kind of need to be there. I would really like to be there. I mean, they'll get by without me, but boy, I'd like to be there. And then that's Friday, and then that's also Saturday, and then there would be a Sunday live stream. And you're talking to a man who sets a timer on his phone to remind himself to clean out the kitty litter, because he will go days without cleaning the thing, just because he doesn't want to have to walk down and back up the stairs. So, yeah. It's a puzzle. Ice Cream, just do Friday and Sunday streams to allow you to shoot your movies, Sister Macy. Unfortunately, we've got to shoot tomorrow, and then we've got to shoot on Friday as well. It's just Wednesday and Sunday for a second. But then, in addition to that, this month, the thing of which we do not speak, that I keep pretending I'm under an NDA about, is, we're working hard on that. And there's a whole bunch, I got a list of things to do on that. I'm not capable of working this hard anymore. Used to could do it. 5 years ago, Pawn is dead. He can't. And this Pawn can't. I don't know if he can keep up. We'll all find out together, though. I'll let you know this Wednesday whether or not I think that there's going to be a Friday live stream. Oh, good Lord. Just Sundays, then, Sister Mason. Hey, if I could afford to do that, I'd still probably want to do at least 2 a week, but honestly, with what Harv and I've said it enough that, with what Harv and I are planning for, if we can get up and underway on that thing, there is a possibility in my mind of that turning into, 1 of 2 live streams in the week, because I would love to put a lot into that program with Harv, and if Harv and I were working together on a regular basis that way, and we were pumping the effort and energy into that, I think you guys would love it so much that you'd be on board with it too. And then we could just have the 1 live stream per week, the 1 gaming live streaming, and then that. But I don't know where this is all going. New pressure! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for coming out for this ridiculously long-winded live stream that went to all of the corners of the world and then ended on the swindle. I don't know. That's what we're doing these days. I like it. I really liked the last live stream, sitting here and talking for 3 hours. No game. I just have to have something to talk about and enough brain power to do that, which is rare these days. I am the Ronin Bald. Meet me back here this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for almost certainly, I don't know. Could be XCOM, could be 7 billion humans. Probably XCOM, because, kind of just need poking that stuff. Also, if Monday doesn't destroy me, then on Tuesday I'll get around to releasing the past VODs for XCOM and for the other things that we've done that things have been backing up on. I don't have what I used to have, and I can't, and I will, though, for you. So, support me on Patreon and keep cheering. I am the Ronin Ball. I'll see you Wednesday. Pawn out.